We will start by introducing the senior members of our varsity football team. Riley Barton, escorted by Jared Barton and Carrie Young. Jaheim Brown Taylor, escorted by Heather Taylor. Terry Bird, escorted by Tamasha Coleman. Alexis Castro, escorted by Zenobio and Lorena Castro. Isaiah Collison, escorted by Michael and Kimberly Collison. Cohen Banks, escorted by Ton Eubanks. Ty Gonzalez, escorted by Gayla Aguilar. Day Day Hunter, escorted by Henry and Whitney Hunter. Jalen Haithcox, escorted by Dean and Siobhan Haithcox. Lindy Havea, escorted by Michael Havea and Sonia Tui. Kyler Hendricks, escorted by Linda Zerby. Bryant Jackson, escorted by Kim Jackson. Ryan Joust, escorted by Kevin and Stephanie Joust. Tyler Krantzman, escorted by Brian and Tarek Krantzman and Jason and Erica Bailey. Goni Lamb, escorted by Cole Luck. Cam Love, escorted by Larry Love and Tika Hill. Nehemiah Magalay, escorted by Gabriel and Lena Magalay. Kapena Mexayo, escorted by Keone Mexayo and Catherine Marasigan. Gunnar Maldonado, escorted by Mario and Brittany Maldonado. Jay McEwen, escorted by Scott and Ramona McEwen. Baron Miles, escorted by Jennifer and Ava Miles. Matt Mighton, escorted by Persinislaw and Julie Mighton. Christian Nesbitt, escorted by Cedric and Tyra Nesbitt. Daniel Navarez, escorted by Mario and Magdalena Navarez. Skylar Price, escorted by William Sunkenberg and Chris Price. Pedro Ramirez, escorted by Rafael and Martha Ramirez. Malik Reed, escorted by Mario Reed and Ileana Weaver. Ramon Robinson, escorted by Randy Robinson and Grandmom Margaret Calloway. Tate Romney, escorted by Kate and Jenny Romney. Dominic Scott, escorted by Sean Scott and Lisa Waring. JJ Segovia, escorted by Juan and Letty Segovia. Murray Yusuf, escorted by Maria Hernandez. And now we would like to introduce the senior members of our Wolf Pack Marching Band. First, we have Jaden Badal, escorted by Glenn and Shauna Badal. Jacob Cargill Olson, escorted by Kay Olson and Paula Cargill. Malia Cawley, escorted by Chris and Joanne Cawley. Grace Perea, escorted by Mark and Ginger Perea. Esme Crawford Paz Soldan, escorted by Neil Crawford and Michelle Paz Soldan. Trent Geyser, escorted by Chris and Cindy Geyser. Gavin Garrity, escorted by Michael and Maritza Garrity. Emily Hawkinson, escorted by Glenn and Aaron Hawkinson. Jacob Helgeson, escorted by Brad and Deanna Helgeson. Rusty Wilkins, escorted by Bill and Joyce Wilkins. Esmeralda Jimenez, escorted by George and Irma Jimenez. Billy Jonas, escorted by Bill and Melody Jonas. Michael Cake, escorted by Ted and Lori Cake. Richard Kelsey, escorted by Mike and Radonna Kelsey. Mark Lindbeck and Colin Nesbitt, escorted by Mark and Rachel Lindbeck. Jasmine Montes Williams, escorted by Carrie Williams and China Montes. Fabian Palafox Pacheco, escorted by Mr. Carlos Aguero. Andrew Pina, escorted by Norma Pina. Marco Ramirez, escorted by Claudia Pierce and Tamara Ramirez. Elijah Schultz, escorted by Will and Allie Schultz and Craig and Wendy Neltkamp. Tia Scott, escorted by Hugh Scott and Lynette Harris Scott. Patrick Stapleton, escorted by Joel and Jennifer Nussbaum. Glenn Stevens, escorted by Andrew and Mona Stevens. Shelby Thomas, escorted by Bob Thomas and Michelle Whitten. Sergio Valenzuela Gomez, escorted by Sergio and Noelia Valenzuela. Heather Walke, escorted by Bill and Lorraine Walke. Robert Hoppenrath, escorted by Jason and Shannon Hoppenrath.
Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, that's good. That's real good. Yeah.
Next, we would like to introduce the Senior Sports Medicine Student Aides. First, we have Kazi Hassin, escorted by Tasuva Khan. Savannah Ritter, escorted by Earl and Sarah Becker. Ashanti Roden, escorted by Melvin and Nikisha Roden. Jocelyn Hernandez Ramirez, escorted by Tony Gordon and Chima Hernandez. And we will conclude by introducing the seniors of the Varsity Spiritline. First, we have Abigail Barton, escorted by Tim and Daphne Barton. Kiana Brown, escorted by Kenny and Crystal Brown. Mercedes Brown, escorted by Anna Brown. Katrina Paskey, escorted by James Paskey and Stephanie Batani. Josh DePaz, escorted by Maria Diaz. Elias Espinosa, escorted by Vincent Jimenez and Connie Andrade. Abby Foster, escorted by Doug and Luann Foster. Brittany Freeze, escorted by Amanda Dyer and Andrea Freeze. Alexis Gonzalez, escorted by P and Candace Gonzalez. Jenna Kellogg, escorted by Michael and Jenny Kellogg. Cecily Muir, escorted by Brandon and Mindy Muir. Ureli Perez, escorted by Renee Perez and Maria Diaz. Alyssa Stout, escorted by James and Carrie Stout. Isabella Schweitzer, escorted by Glenn, Kristen, and Nicholas Schweitzer. Nautica Twelman, escorted by Tamara and Grandpa Steve. Maya Villanueva, escorted by Carl and Michelle Villanueva. Jasmine Williams, escorted by Ezra Latoya Williams. Aishia Woods, escorted by Stephen and Danelle Lindsay. Chandler High School would like to thank the seniors and their parents for all of their hard work in helping make our football, marching band, sports medicine, and Spiritline programs so successful. We wish all our seniors the best of luck in their last year at Chandler High. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for our 2019-2020 seniors and parents.
Hey fans, welcome to Austin Field. Tonight's battle between Hamilton High School and Chandler High School has been designated as one of the over 100 featured games in the nationwide 2019 Great American Rivalry Series in partnership with the United States Marines. Game selection for this series is based on history, tradition, great football, and awesome fans. We wish to thank the Marines and Brainbox for selecting tonight's contest as part of the 2019 Great American Rivalry Series. Please give them a warm Chandler welcome. Football fans, the Great American Rivalry Series would like to take a moment to honor the top scholar athletes from each school. As part of the series, the U.S. Marine Corps will be presenting each player with a scholarship, a college scholarship, in recognition of their academic achievement and athletic excellence. To highlight those athletes that work hard on and off the field, the U.S. Marine Corps is proud to honor the senior player holding the highest academic standing from each team. From Hamilton High School, let's introduce and honor Finn Leckie. Finn is a 3-year varsity starter on the varsity football team and 3-year letterman in track. He was selected all-region and all-state last year as a junior, this as an offensive lineman. He also volunteers his time helping at Feed My Starving Children and other local community projects. Finn Leckie currently plans to attend the University of San Diego and major in law. Presenting the award to Finn Leckie is Sergeant Henson. Congratulations, Finn. And now from Chandler High School, let's honor Riley Barton. Riley is an outstanding student athlete. He is committed in the weight room, the classroom, and on the field. He is a quality leader on and off the field and is a great teammate that is always looking to help his team. Riley will be attending Colorado School of Mines on a football scholarship where he will be majoring in computer engineering. Presenting the award to Riley Barton is Sergeant Roderick. Congratulations, Riley Barton. Let's have a big round of applause for both Rivalry Series Scholar athletes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as the Chandler High School Air Force Junior ROTC proudly presents our national colors. Tonight's color guard commanders are Cadet Robert Deal, Cadet Aaron Cross, Cadet Mark Damasan, Cadet Nico Saccone, Cadet Sean Wynn, Cadet Matthew Somerville. In a moment, I would also ask you to please join me in observing a moment of silence for Mr. Sam Stout, who passed away 3 weeks ago tonight on October 11, 2019. Sam Stout was a Chandler High School social studies teacher, a coach, a mentor, and the public address announcer here at Austin Field, who yours truly succeeded back in 1988. Now join me, once the cadets are established, in a moment of silence to honor the memory of Mr. Sam Stout. And that will be followed by the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. And now for the playing of our national anthem. Hey fans, if you would direct your attention to the skies just above our heads, a small plane will be flying overhead, and 2 members of the Aerial Extreme Skydiving Team will be jumping from that plane, landing on Austin Field's turf to deliver the game ball. The jumpers for tonight are Tom Talbot and Carl Chittum. When they land on terra firma, let's give them a big round of applause. Here they are on schedule. Tom Talbot and Charles Chisholm ran successfully. Give them a round of applause.
Staring at you from afar, analyzing every scar. Asking myself how we got here. Remember, this is who we are. I am not here for revenge. I did not come to make amends. Not here to repent for my sins. I just came here to win. I just came here to end. I just came here to fight. Show you everything you said I could be. The game every night. This is for the blood. This is for the tears. This is for my pain and play. Two are playing, but only one of us is walking out of here tonight. I'm a survivor. For my life. I'm a stronger. I'm a rise. I'm a survivor. For my life. I'm a stronger. I'm a rise.
As the Chandler Wolves take the field at Austin Field, we are ready for the finale of high school football's regular season in Arizona. And what a way to close it out. The Hamilton Huskies in town taking on the rival Chandler Wolves, number 1, number 2 in 6A. And we've got a great one coming. The Arizona Avenue Rivalry tonight at Austin Field. Chandler and Hamilton. Chandler at 9-0, Hamilton at 8-1. This is going to be fun. My name is Dominic Catronio. Thanks so much for joining us here on Sports 360 AZ. Pleased to be joined by Arizona Varsity's own Ralph Ansden. Ralph, well, this is going to be a fun one. It's always one that everyone has circled on their calendars, but as folks who know the history of this rivalry know that Hamilton dominated the first stages of this, but since 2013, this has been all about the folks in blue and black.
Yeah, it was a long 15 years before Chandler could get their first victory over their sister school, or they could never really use the moniker Little Brother because they never had a chance to be the big brother. Hamilton dominated for so long. So many talented players have come through both schools, and it's just basically been Chandler's turn. But we'll see what happens here tonight. A 9-1 Hamilton squad is fresh off a dominant victory over a Perry team that actually scored 49 points against Chandler.
As we look to the coin toss getting ready to happen with the captains, also see Superintendent Dr. Camille Castillo getting ready to do the ceremonial coin flip as well for this rivalry game. As our head official tonight is Jacob Gustafson, and also the umpire will be Simon Gustafson, and the head linesman Justin Nash, line judge Rob McKinley, and back judge Todd Whitlinger. Chandler goes through its traditions, of course.
Yeah, the haka was brought over here by Sean Aguano, who started his teaching career at Chandler High in 2002, a year after I graduated, actually, and he stayed on until he was ultimately offensive coordinator and took over as the head coach. Being from the island of Hawaii, he brought the haka over with him, and the team slogan is Makoa. It's all about family at Chandler High. It's all about making people feel welcome wherever they come from.
So Hamilton won the toss, and they elected to receive the opening kickoff. And I think right now, if you're head coach Mike Tedeschi, that's exactly what you wanted, knowing the high-powered offense on the other side. Granted, the defense is just as fantastic for Chandler this year. See if you can make a statement on the first drive of the game.
Absolutely, and Chandler's coming off 3 consecutive shutouts after giving up 49 points to what has become their new rival in Perry High School. Meanwhile, the truly defensive dominant performance came from Hamilton last week against that same Perry squad. it's the whole thing of the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. We just have to figure out which one is which.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Chandler in the black jerseys with blue outlines, blue helmets, the chrome blue helmets. On the other side, the standard look as always for Hamilton. Silver and white on the road, silver helmet, silver numbers, and the white jersey with the silver pants. Again, the Huskies receiving the opening kickoff as we are ready to go for the Arizona Avenue rivalry.
This doesn't look to be one of the most attended in the series of the rivalry, but given the fact that I think Hamilton had maybe a 2-win season last year, the fact that they've come back to be 9-1, the stands are full. You know, there have been plenty of years where they've brought in the extra stands, and you can see them out there on the north side of the field. There's about 2 or 3 fans sitting in there, but I expect it to fill up.
Drew Peterman on to kick off for Chandler. Expect to see Brendan Rice back to receive this kickoff. I don't imagine it will go in his direction. Probably go in Corbin Martin's direction. Cole Martin's direction.
Cole Martin is a special freshman for this Hamilton Husky team. They don't typically play freshmen. It's sort of been a hard, fast rule for them. They don't play freshmen, and they usually don't play people on both sides of the ball. But Cole Martin, the defensive back, son of Demetrius Martin, the defensive backs coach at Arizona, he's had a special year.
It does go Martin's way. Plays it on a hop. He's already endangered. Inside of his own 10, he's brought down. Chandler there early. Skylar Price with the tackle to start off tonight's contest. First and 10, Hamilton, as they will be starting at their own 11-yard line.
Maybe more so than any team in the state, Chandler over the last few years have been able to generate turnovers on their opponent's first drive with an absolutely stellar pass rush. We'll see what Hamilton can do to protect against that pass rush here.
Nick Arve, the starting quarterback, and Gabriel Armenta will get the start as the running back. Looking to throw on first down. Over to the flat, and that's Armenta, and he's met at the 15-yard line by a host of Wolves. Gain of 4 on first down, bring up 2nd and 6.
Gabriel Armenta has had a fantastic season. He is the younger brother of Manny Armenta, who also played running back at Hamilton High School, and it's very, very nice for them to get positive yards right out the gate.
2nd and 6 on the way. 30 seconds into the contest. This defense, again, 3 consecutive shutouts right now for the Wolves. Armenta gets the ball, runs it outside, and he's got a first down. Gain of 7 on the play, moves the sticks.
You don't usually see gaps that big between the guard and tackle, so Hamilton is off to a fantastic start.
On the year, he's averaging 85 yards a game on the ground. He's scored 18 of their touchdowns this season, the senior Armenta. Arve will run too, so keep that in mind. Rolling right, Nick looking, finds a man off to the right side, and thrown down near the side. Still a positive gain on first down.
Now, Nick Arve has had some of his best games against the best competition that they've played this year. That's his MO, is to be efficient, to be quick, and to make sure that he picks up the yards that are there.
Brady Shuck received that pass, so 7 yards on it. 2nd and 3 on the way. Hamilton got a quiet stadium here at Austin Field, given that Hamilton is on offense, and flags fly. And the first call of the game
Looked like
offside against Chandler.
Tate Romney jumped a little bit there, and I'm not sure if he was trying to motion the defensive line or if he was trying to get a jump on the snap, but it's going to be hard to miss a guy who's 2 yards into the backfield before the ball gets snapped.
Talented linebacker, senior, 3-star prospect. He's not committed yet, but he's got 7 Pac-12 offers, 14 total. Opening drive of the game. Armenta still in the backfield. Instead, they give to the sweeping wideout. That's Zach Lewis. Tries to get through on the jet sweep, doesn't get much.
Hits like that are what are going to energize this Hamilton or this Chandler defense. They were able to square him up really well on that jet sweep.
Looked like one of the first ones there was Hank Pepper. Also, keep an eye on 13, Gunnar Maldonado. 2nd and 6 on the way after the gain of 4. But everything's been positive so far for the Huskies, which I think Coach Zadebski will certainly take at this point. Granted, he's not in positive field position yet.
Very tight formation for Hamilton on this upcoming play.
Harvey looking to throw. Running up inside the hatches. Can't spin out of a man, but falling forward, he got another first down.
Host of Chandler Wolves tacklers at the 45-yard line.
Out of that bunch formation, Nick says, I'll take it myself.
Absolutely, and that's about the best you could hope for because they were spying him the whole way. Linebacker just sort of held his ground and made the tackle where he was at instead of rushing up to get Harvey down. And like I said, he'll take every single yard that you give him.
So now they move for a fresh set of downs from their own 44. Armenta to the right. Man in motion is Shuck. Looking to throw, switches back on a screen. It's Armenta. Cuts it back, and again, 3 Wolves are there to try to bring him down. And that was Maldonado who made the tackle. Not just Maldonado, but Romney as well.
Very successful opening drive. Just taking the yards where you can get them is really going to be the key to keeping this Chandler offense off the field. The Chandler is most dangerous when they can get out there and they can hand the ball off to their bevy of talented running backs. They haven't had a chance yet this game.
Gain of 7 on that play, 2nd and 3. They haven't even had a 3rd down on this drive, and now they will. Man got into the backfield, and the Wolves will try to get off the field on this play. First one there was Brandon Buckner, the junior defensive end, 3-star prospect, also not yet committed.
Now 3rd and about 3 from the
3rd and a long 2. We'll call it 3 from the 48-yard line. Hamilton's first test. Harvey tried the hard count and looking for the audible now. 2 receivers near side. Haven't seen much of Rice. He's lined up near to your screen. A give. Armenta moves the pile. First down, Huskies.
Fantastic physicality there from Hamilton's offensive line. Looked to me like big number 53 was making the push. Finn Leckie. Oh, I'm sorry, Christian McCook.
Junior offensive lineman, 5'9", 240, made the move. So another first down for the Huskies. This is their 4th first down of the opening drive. Ready to throw, a pump fake, out to the flat, but that's beyond the reach of his intended target. 2nd and 10 on the way. Looked like he was going for Caden Hattendorf there, the senior wideout. This will be the 9th play of the opening drive for Hamilton in their first long yardage situation.
2nd down 10, Huskies
2nd and 10.
from the 42.
3 split out to the wide right. Rice alone on the near side. A fake to Armenta. Arbe keeps it. Arbe's got the first down. Down at the 30-yard line. A gain of 12. Another first down for Hamilton.
Chandler's got to know to expect that Arve will pull the ball down. He only had 109 yards rushing coming into this game, but Hamilton's going to do whatever it takes, and if he sees that there on the option, he's going to go.
He also has 4 touchdowns rushing this season. So on the doorstep of the red zone, they're at the 30. A pistol look with Armenta, now motions him out. Everything's been quick so far from Hamilton. Swings it out, that's Lewis. And another first down for Hamilton. Right at the marker on the 20-yard line, a first down.
And running these little bubbles, it's going to be successful if Chandler's defensive backs are playing this far off the ball.
We're forcing Chandler to make the adjustment. This is something of game planning from Coach Stepsky. 1st and 10 from the 20. Give to Armenta.
Again, number 23.
Breaks through a couple of arm tackles, but ultimately is pulled down for a short gain.
Hit quickly by the interior of the Wolves line.
As it was Romney who was in there first. Also saw Kyler Orr, junior linebacker, finished off the tackle. A gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from the 18 on the way. Rice is going to have a spy on him, but he may be all alone here on the near side. The Colorado commit. They're going to him. Brendan Rice in the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. Even with 2 men on him, and Hamilton strikes first tonight.
And you called that, Dom. I mean, they lined up single coverage on Brendan Rice on the outside. He'd pretty much been a decoy up to this point in the game, and it works out in their favor. And this is ultimately a chess match between Mike Zadebski, who had a very, very successful high school coaching career at Walled Lake West in Michigan, and Rick Garrettson, who was the driving force behind this offense here at Chandler High the entire time that they were winning championships here. And so just what a play on the ball by Brendan Rice. And now you see why he's a 4-star rated wide receiver and why colleges were fighting over him up until he made his commitment to Colorado a couple weeks ago.
Already Kofal with the extra point, and it's 7-0 Hamilton after a fantastic opening drive. And you think about the opening kickoff, they started that at their own 11-yard line. They went 12 plays, 89 yards, and they ate up 5:40 of the game clock.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is a Hamilton team that only managed to score 7 points last year in their 49-7 loss against Chandler. So, I mean, that's progress. Not only do they have a lead, they've equaled last year's point total, and now Chandler knows that these guys are for real.
And a perfect start for Hamilton. On that drive, Arve was 5 of 6 passing for 44 yards, and ultimately the touchdown to Rice. Colin Fuller on to kickoff. Kentrell Williams Jr. back to receive in the middle of this formation.
Prepares for kickoff. Number 19, Colin Fuller, kicks the ball on a short kick.
Short kick to the far side. Tries to cut it back. And brought down. That was Maldonado on the return.
Number 13, Gunnar Maldonado.
Gunnar Maldonado is easily the most dangerous kick returner in the state. With all that real estate that he had to his right, I'm surprised he didn't cut it back a little farther, but he's not really somebody you can question with the success that he's had on the field this season. I tell you what, if you give him that much space next time, you'll probably pay for it.
So 14-yard return for Maldonado. And our first look at Chandler's offense, Mikey Key, the quarterback, and the starting running back, no surprise, Day Hunter.
Day Hunter moved here from Colorado prior to his senior season, and he was a little bit of a surprise earlier in the year as fireworks go off on the other side of the stadium.
Trying to send a message. They give to Hunter on the first down. He's averaging 10 yards a carry, but we have flags on the play, our second flag of the contest.
This has been Chandler's one bugaboo through all the success that they've had this season. Penalty flags will fly at Austin Field. Not just this year, but always. It's sort of been the hallmark of this program. They're very successful despite it, but you often find yourself in undisciplined situations as Chandler or their opponent here.
That flag wasn't on Chandler. It was a sideline warning on Hamilton, so they wanted to send the message early. 5:45 to go in the first. Looking near side, Keene finds his man and gets out of bounds just short of the first down. That was
Mason Coleman.
looked like
On 7-yard
Mason
pickup.
Coleman there, 88, the
Ball
sophomore.
marked at the 39.
His
so
5th
third
game
down
played this
and
year and his 10th
1.
reception. 3rd and 1, so Hamilton has an opportunity to get off the field. But you got to figure it's going to Hunter. They give to Day.
Number 4,
Huge offensive line, gives a hole. He's got the first down, out of bounds near the 45. First down, Wolves.
Depending on the play, number 11 for
Good presence of mind to cut that outside. Hamilton was able to get a little bit of penetration through the left side of the line, but the sideline was there for him, and he picks up the first down.
So the Wolves first and 10 from there.
First and 10 for Chandler. You don't want to say things are urgent, given you know the firepower of this offense, but the score here would certainly kind of calm the waters. Hunter again, he's met in the backfield and dropped.
The ball carrier.
First man there, Isaiah Blanco. The senior DB came in there and made the tackle.
Number 6,
5'9", 175. You don't need to be big. You just need to understand the correct form to bring these running backs down. He grabbed the leg, he twisted out of the way, and he got himself a solo tackle.
46.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10 on the way. Bunch formation outside left. Man in motion. That was Swope. And Keene ready to throw.
Mikey Keene
Quick
to
underneath.
pass.
Has his man. That's Grays. Flag on the play behind it, and he's out of bounds near the 40-yard line into Hamilton territory. But let's check the marker.
Receives the ball. And the ball marked at the 42.
It's back near the original line, so this could be a holding. An offensive pass interference, so he was a little too open in the eyes of the officials.
Yeah, Mikey Keene showed great patience on letting him come open on that play and looking the defensive backs off, but it looked like there was some extra help.
So that is the second penalty of the game on Chandler. And we'll move them back on what was a first down. They'll replay second down. 15 yards from the spot of the foul, or rather from the line of scrimmage, I should say. They'll put them back to the 31.
They marked the ball at the 31.
So second and 25 on the way.
Full spacing now, second down, 25 from their own 31.
The junior Mikey Keene running the offense. He's completing 76% of his passes this year. And you don't see this every day. Under center on second and 25. They go play action. And overthrows his man on the near side. That was Graves again. Sophomore Keon Graves. Graves. But another flag on the play.
Penalty marker down on the play.
I think Hamilton is a formidable enough opponent that you don't want to be your own worst enemy here.
That was a holding against the Wolves, and of course Hamilton's going to decline that after an incomplete pass. So third and forever, third and 25 on the way. So that's 3 penalties now. All of them have been against Chandler.
They lose the down, third down, 25.
It's an interesting strategy to take the down over the yards, but it is third and 25 now.
Keene looking to throw immediately, scrambling out of the pocket. Will just flick it, trying to get away from danger, but a huge hit delivered. That was Victor Zayas. No flag on it. He was an open man, and it'll be fourth down.
And I mean, I like that they kept the flags in their pockets there. That ball was technically catchable, and if it's in play, as a defensive back, you have to do everything you can within your power and within the rules to make sure that they don't make the catch. Chandler's not happy about it, but that's the way it is.
Punt away quickly. You don't say that often with Chandler. A punt is away. A friendly bounce inside the 20. And it'll be down at the 17-yard line. So they flipped the field position there, and 52-yard punt.
You like that Hamilton has built themselves up a little bit of breathing room here, not so much pressure on them to go out and execute a perfect drive, but basically it's money in the bank. Whatever they can do here, as long as they take care of the football and they continue to take the yards that they're given, every second off the clock is one that Chandler's explosive offense doesn't have a chance to be out there getting these points back.
7-0 Hamilton, 4:08 to go in the first. It was an Arve to Rice connection for the first score of the game on an 89-yard drive. They give to Armenta on first down, and he is met near the line. A short gain on first down.
Number 23 of the Huskies.
First man there was Buckner again.
A 2-yard
The junior only playing in his 6th game, but he's got 7 offers, among them Arizona State, Arizona, and Oregon.
He is a dominant inside presence. They don't have all of their defensive linemen out on the field tonight. They're missing a couple due to injury, but he sure makes up for it. His presence is one that you have to account for.
3.5 minutes to play in the first. The entire D-line jumped, and flags fly again. It is indeed encroachment against the Wolves.
5-yard penalty assessment marked off against the Wolves for encroachment.
4th penalty now in the opening quarter against Chandler.
We don't know who's going to win this game, but I tell you what, going into any Chandler-Hamilton game, I can tell you that Hamilton will almost always win that penalty battle.
That much has not changed, as a lot has happened in Hamilton over the years, especially the last 4 or 5 years, but a disciplined team they certainly are. Throw to the near side sideline, but it's off his hands. That was for Rice. So it brings up third down and a manageable 3 yards, but huge opportunity for Chandler to get off the field.
It looked like he wasn't able to pick up traction with his cleats there. Austin Field, definitely a beautiful place to play. One of the very few stadiums that still plays on a natural grass field, but sometimes you're not going to be able to get your footing out there.
As the dormant Bermuda sets in, they give to Armenta. Man met in the backfield, gets through him. Armenta past the first down and across the 30-yard line. Huskies convert.
Picks up the first down for Hamilton High School.
Not easy to lower your shoulder and pick up those extra yards when you see Tate Romney breathing down your neck, but that's exactly what Armenta did on that play.
First down, Huskies. 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Empty backfield now for Arve, the senior quarterback. Trying to get his first win against the Wolves. Met at the second level, and he is dropped. Huge hit from Malik Reed, the senior. One of the top linebackers in the state.
Nobody gets to the quarterback more than Malik Reed. It just usually happens behind the line of scrimmage. You are in the danger zone if you were scrambling out there in his territory. He is the hammer, and you are the nail.
He still managed a gain of 6 or 7 on that play. That's his third carry, and that's 23 yards for Nick Arve. That's a shuck in motion. A give to Armenta, trying to chuck forward. He's pulled backward, almost lost the football. Near the marker. Looked like Kyler Orr was trying to strip the ball from him.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. Zion Magalay and all those guys, if they see you wrapped up, they're going to go after that football. And the last thing you want to do is turn the ball over in Chandler territory.
First down on the short run. Just enough for Armenta. By the way, the Wolves have forced 9 fumbles this season. They've also picked off opposing quarterbacks 11 times. And while the shutout streak is over, as you mentioned at the top, Ralph, each of the last 3 games had been shutouts. Arve trying to find Rice on a back shoulder. He's into Chandler territory. Gain of about 13 on first down.
Yeah, Terry. If you're Terry Bird, what are you supposed to do there? Brendan Rice is all of 6'3", 215 pounds. He high points the ball. He plays that sideline very well. He has since he was a sophomore. It's really what I liked most about him when I first saw him. And I mean, you really need to kind of bump him off the line, jostle him a little bit.
They fake to give the shuck instead of Arve keeps. He's got room up the middle. Nick Arve to the end zone. Touchdown Huskies. And this Austin Field crowd is stunned. 13-0 Hamilton.
Man, Nick Arve, what a special run. Add that to the highlight reel of this vaunted, storied rivalry. He pulled the ball away just at the last second. He created that opportunity for himself. Earlier in the drive, he absolutely got lit up by Malik Reed. That is a testament to his toughness. He gets the big touchdown run. And how about Hamilton with the 13-0 lead over Chandler?
A 44-yard run for Arve. Not only is it 5th rushing touchdown of the year for Nick, it's his longest rush of the year. The extra point is good for Hamilton. It is 14-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Hamilton Huskies and their faithful in this program needs to be thankful for Nick Arve. You know, so many people come up through that Hamilton program. You know, you play as on the freshman team as a freshman, you play JV as a sophomore, you make your mark as a junior and senior. Nick Arve actually transferred over from Castile High School, sat out the early portion of his junior season. He had his struggles like anybody else last year, but this year he has taken over. He is the unquestioned leader of this Hamilton Husky offense, and he's got them rolling right now.
A 7-play drive for 83 yards. It took 3:03 off the clock. 55 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Chandler needs to have an answer. They haven't even ran a play in Hamilton's territory. 68 yards on the ground now for Arve on just 4 carries.
And Chandler has to be careful not to change their game plan. They want to pound the rock. 14-0 doesn't mean you stop trying.
Clemente on the near side. On the far side, it's Maldonado. And in the center,
Short kick, number 34.
the short kick though will go to Maldonado. He gets past the 30 again, and he's down to 31. 10-yard return. And a late flag behind the play.
After the play.
So let's check on this one. It came from the back judge here. Now, if you're head coach Rick Garrettson, how do you get these guys going here on this next drive? As a personal foul goes against Hamilton, that'll certainly help an extra 15 yards to start off this drive.
Well, I think that one thing that Rick Garrettson has to do is just continue to trust the staff that he's been around his entire time that he's been here. Rick Garrettson has been in big games as a head coach. He's been in big games as an offensive coordinator. His offensive line coach has been here for multiple years. His running backs coach has been here since I was a student here, back at the turn of the millennium. And so you just trust in your staff and run your offense and pretend it's 0-0.
Trips wide right. Keene will give to Hunter. He's got room right. Hunter makes a man miss, and there he goes. Day Hunter down the sideline. No one's going to catch him. And Chandler responds. 54 yards.
Oh yeah, like I said, stick to the game plan, pound the rock. They have the ability to get these points back very, very quickly.
Day Hunter, his 27th rushing touchdown of the season. He averages nearly 12 yards a carry. On for the extra point. Don't have a 44 on the roster.
Number 46, Pete Peterman, successfully kicks the point after. And just for the record,
makes this a one-score game again. 14-7 with 36 seconds to go.
I could be mistaken, but it looked like Baron Miles threw the block to spring Day Hunter there over on the right sideline. He was already about 30 yards down the field with one man to beat. Baron Miles took care of it for him, and it was all green grass from there.
So what an exciting first quarter here at Austin Field. It really is a fair question. I think it's an accurate question. When was the last time, or it's a fair question, I should say, when was the last time Chandler was down 14-0?
My goodness, to an in-state school?
To an in-state school.
I believe that would probably be September 2016 or 2017 in an away game at Mountain Point.
This is why you're on the call, Ralph.
Yeah, I remember I got my car stolen after that game.
The Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
36 seconds to go. Peterman on to kick.
Number 46, Pete Peterman with a kickoff.
Rice on the far side. They'll kick away from him, going to the end
Into
zone.
the end zone for the touchdown.
Now, Chandler has played some of the toughest opponents that you can find nationally, IMG Academy and the like. But as far as in-state schools, they've been relatively dominant since about September 2016 when they took a 49-7 loss against Mountain Point in the regular season, a team that they actually met in the state championship that year and vanquished fairly easily. So, Chandler is able to sort of learn from their mistakes. They're hoping that it can happen during the game instead of waiting for the next time that they'd face off, which would be in the Open Division playoffs.
And that 2016 started the run that they're on now with a repeat.
From their own 20-yard line. Number 7, Nick
Arve again after he scored on the last drive. They're 2 for 2 in scores. Swings it out near side. This is not Armenta, but rather Sebastian Dorman. Gets a good chunk on first down. The senior gets his first touch of the game. That one on a reception, and he's got 7 yards on first down, so 2nd and 3 on the way.
And I'm already getting text messages from Hamilton Huskies of years past. Former Hamilton quarterback Joey Vincent jumping into my text messages to let me know that he actually picked Chandler heading into this game, but he's pretty fired up for his old team right now.
Arve bluffs, throws it out wide right. That's Shuck. Shuck makes a man miss. He's got the first down and a little bit more. Chandler's just given a lot of space to these wideouts, and Hamilton has been responding just like the first drive with these little bubble screens, outlets, and in the flat.
Absolutely, and you know what? They're making guys miss on the first go-round. Brady Shuck ducks under a tackle there. He's able to pick up the first down. Had he gone down right there, then you have to run a whole another play just to try to figure out what to do to move the sticks. But they're going to move into the second quarter with a fresh set of downs.
And if you're Hamilton, and specifically head coach Mike Zadebski, in his second edition of this rivalry, knowing what was all written about Chandler this week, one of the best teams ever in the history of Arizona high school football. They're outscoring opponents 1,000,000-0. They've got 3 consecutive shutouts. And after one quarter, you're up 14-7. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 quarters. I think every single time.
Yeah, and if I'm Mike Zadebski down there, just make sure that the guys stay calm and they stay disciplined and they lean on the practice and everything that got them here. They're coming off a really good week. They're coming off their best performance. They've played some of the best teams that this state has to offer, and as of right now, they're winning. So you stick with what works and just try to make sure that your guys aren't getting too excited.
You mentioned they were coming in on momentum last week. Against Perry, Hamilton won 49-17, and the week prior they shut out Basha 42-0. This coming off of a loss against Brophy back on October 4th, where they lost 27-14, which is still their only loss of the season.
Yeah, and they say that for some teams the loss helps wake you up. And you never really know if that's the case because you want to win every single game, right? But that Brophy team, they're a very, very well-coached squad. Jason Jewell and his staff of people who used to play professional and college football, and you can't win them all.
They give on the jet sweep. That's Christian Anaya, and he gets near midfield. First down, Hamilton.
The ball carrier takes the ball up to the 50.
Gain of 16 as they mark him right at the 50.
A Husky first down. First and 10.
This is starting to remind me of the very beginning years of this rivalry, where it was, run it every way you can, and keep Chandler's offense off the field.
By the way, Arve is 8 of 10 through the air for 73 yards and a score. He's also ran in a score. He's got over 80 yards on the ground. Looking deep, far side. Brendan Rice down the sideline. Hamilton scores.
Nick Arve really put himself in danger there with that pump fake, but it ends up working out as he finds Brendan Rice streaking down the sideline, and that's that 10.56 100 meters speed. Mike Zadebski had talked Brendan Rice into joining the track team, and for the very first time he went out and ran track, worked on his speed, and you see what it did for him on a play like that. The way he was able to separate with the ball in the air, I mean, what more can you ask for from your receiver to go out and get under the ball and take it into the end zone for a score?
A 50-yard score. Hamilton's offense is 3 for 3 on its drives. It only took 5 plays to go 80 yards and score in just a minute and 9 seconds. And Arve has 2 throwing touchdowns, both of them to Brendan Rice.
This is one of the more creative game plans that I have seen any Arizona team put together this year. I've seen Hamilton maybe run the same play twice, and that's motioning Brady Shuck and handing the ball off to Armenta off the side that Shuck motioned away from. Other than that, everything is fresh, everything is new, which means everyone on Chandler's defense has to be ready for anything at all times. And they didn't get that kind of a challenge going down to Tucson last week. They really, really overmatched that team. And sometimes you need that tough opponent before you go and play another tough opponent, or you get punched in the mouth, which is what Hamilton is doing to Chandler right now.
A little switch here for Chandler. Baron Miles is on the far side of your screen right now. The center man on this return group is Tony Brewer. And here on the near side, it's Gunnar Maldonado. 11:27 to go in the second. It's 21-7 Hamilton.
Kickoff for Chandler High, number 21, Nicholas Nesbitt.
Nesbitt on the kick. Or rather,
That ball kicked into the end zone.
that one gets into the end zone.
The Wolves will take over first and 10 from their own 20.
With Ralph Amsden, I'm Dominic Catronio. Thanks for joining us on this Friday night, the finale of the regular season. And you've touched on it briefly about the Open Division. Of course, this is the inaugural year of the Open bracket with the EIA 4A, 5A, 6A. If you're one of the top teams there, you have a chance to face the other top teams regardless of your classification.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I understand why they're doing it. The same teams are winning every year, and they're winning big. It's not competitive, and they want some of these teams to be able to play each other, the Saguaros and Centennials, and so that's how you end up with an Open Division playoff that will take the top 8 teams in the state, regardless of division, out of the competition and leave everybody else to fend for conference championships.
On first down, Keon Graves just got a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 from the 22-yard line. And we haven't said Jalen Richmond's name at all tonight as we're in the second quarter. Looking to throw. A little sweep out here to Hunter, or beg your pardon, not Hunter, but rather Eli Sanders. That just dump off, but no gain. 3rd and 10.
Look at the way this Hamilton defense is running to the ball. By the time they got him down, there were 9 white jerseys around him, which happened. It happened on the near side of the field here.
Only the second 3rd down that Chandler has faced, and they did not convert on their first. 3rd and 8 on the way. Keene gets out of the pocket. He's got a little bit of room, throws it deep, and he overthrows everybody. 4th down, Chandler. They'll have to punt.
Mikey Keene is at his most dangerous when they are rolling him out, but that obviously was not meant to be a rollout play. If you're one of Mikey Keene's receivers, you have to understand that your quarterback's in trouble. You got to have someone crossing the field. You got to have someone bailing out toward the end zone. You can't just stand around and watch the show.
Whatever they've been doing against Mikey Keene, it's been working. He's only 2 of 6 in the air for 9 yards. Good punt here and a friendly bounce. It's out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Punt from
Chandler bounce on the
again
punt,
from Peterman.
out of bounds at the 29.
48-yard punt there from Peterman, and they'll spot him officially at the 29.
So the interesting thing about the Open Division playoff is that if Chandler were to win this game, there's a very real possibility that in 2 weeks in the opening round of the Open Division playoffs, you'd see these 2 teams playing again.
Because it's 8 teams, in case you're not familiar, and by now you're not familiar, well, we'll fill you in. That is 8 teams, and it'll be a bye week next week before the playoffs begin, and it's just a quick bracket, 3 weeks, and decide who is the Open champion.
Yep, and December 7th out at Sun Devil Stadium. And, it could be an interesting scenario where you see a Centennial versus Chandler, which you'd never see in the playoffs otherwise, or, potentially a Saguaro, who everybody, I think this was really probably created to get Saguaro out of those 4A playoffs, because they've won 6 titles in a row.
10-11 to go in the half, and it's all Huskies a chance to add on. They give Armenta met in the backfield and dropped. Now there's some life in this defense. Looked like Malik Reed was there first.
Yeah, Malik Reed is tough, and Bryant Jackson came in there to finish it off. Bryant Jackson, a senior. His older brother is out playing at UNLV, and Bryant is sort of the bigger, more powerful one, while his brother plays defensive back for the Running Rebels.
So finally a negative play for the Huskies. 2nd and 11 on the way. Armenta in the backfield. Option with him. They give to Armenta. He's got nothing on the exterior. Again, the Wolves meet him out there. First man there was Hank Pepper, the junior.
Great discipline. I think that Chandler's starting to recognize what it is that Hamilton wants to do, and that's a credit to defensive coordinator Andrew Kanaki, who has had this team up until the first quarter of this game playing very well all season long.
3rd and call it 12 here. Hamilton 2 for 2 on 3rd down.
Haven't seen very many 3rd and longs out of this team, though. It'll be interesting to see what they do here.
This is exactly what Chandler would need to get a 3 and out. Design roll out right. Pocket collapsing. Gets rid of it. Near side, he underthrows his man. Was looking for Shuck. It was tipped at the line as well.
Some fantastic pass blocking there from Dylan McGinnis, the Washington State commit. His brother Hunter is already up there as a redshirt freshman. You know, on a designed rollout, it can be a little bit tough to stay in front of your man. He was taking on multiple blockers there, gave Arve the time, but he wasn't able to get that ball out cleanly.
Brady Kofal on to punt. First time we've seen him tonight punting. 8:41 to go in the second quarter. A long wait here on 4th and 13. The kick is away, a spiral to the near side. They'll let it bounce. Inside the 30 and spotted near the 27. Flips the field perfectly. 47-yard punt.
Is down to about the 26-yard line, so the Wolves will take over.
And a reminder that Hamilton won the toss and they elected to receive, and they scored on that opening drive. So this is not must-score territory, given that Chandler will have the second half kickoff, but you want to see the offense start clicking again.
Absolutely, and Chandler's Hamilton's the team that wants to run these 8-minute drives. Chandler would love to run one play and get off the field.
Just as they did on the last drive. Day Hunter back in the game. He receives it. Flag on the play. Hunter gets near the first down marker, but we'll check 2 flags down.
And not many players go both ways for these Hamilton Huskies. Never really have, but Brady Shuck making the one-on-one tackle there of Day Hunter. Brady Shuck a little bit more known for his wide receiving skills on this team, and he's making plays on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Jacob Gustafson, the head official, will be getting ready to make a call. An illegal formation against Chandler and a personal foul for a chop block against Hamilton. So thus the penalty's offset where we play first down.
One of the last name Shuck does not sound familiar to you. It's because you've probably been pronouncing it wrong, as I've heard about every pronunciation in the world of his last name. But if it does sound familiar to you, it's because his brother was the previous quarterback, the first junior to start at quarterback for Hamilton High School, went on to play for the Oregon Ducks. He is Justin Herbert's backup at this time. Look forward to big things from Tyler Shuck out there in Oregon.
I'm sure he's watching right now as well. Keene will try to reset the play here. Juniors had a tough time tonight, especially trying to throw the ball. Only 9 yards, and now whistles. A timeout called by Chandler. 7:56 to go in the second quarter. 21-7 Hamilton.
Nine 9-0 Chandler, 8-1 Hamilton. I mean, Dom, you used to cover a lot of these games out here, and there were years where they were both very, very successful. There's also been a lot of years where the rivalry was a lot more one-sided. But I think in your time doing these games, both teams have obviously been very competitive. I think, honestly, it's really, really great for the school district. It's a heated rivalry. These guys don't necessarily like each other too much. But with the way that things work now, everybody out there grew up playing youth football together. And so, you know, it's not necessarily bad blood. They're separated by 3.5 miles. But when it comes to games like this, I mean, they're definitely feeling it in the morning. These guys are going a little bit harder than they do against a typical opponent.
Since 2013, it's been all Chandler. But, of course, as we know, history tells us, prior to 2013, it was literally all Hamilton. Out of the timeout on 1st and 10, they try a counter give, but nothing for Hunter. First man there was Blanco again.
A 2-yard pickup.
And people do forget that Hamilton did sneak away a victory in 2013 in the semifinals of the playoffs in a game that was actually delayed a few days because of inclement weather. It's very possible that the muddy conditions did give Hamilton an advantage. They went on to play in the championship that year and lost to Mountain Point before going to the championship the next year and losing to Chandler in their first title.
Keene throwing on the run. He was just a touch low for his man there. He was going for Collison, it looked like. Yeah, Isaiah Collison. First time we've said the senior's name tonight. 3rd and 8 upcoming for Chandler. Huge play for the Wolves and Rick Garrettson.
Third down and 8, Wolves.
And in motion was Swope. Looking to the near side, and it's caught by Collison. First down, Wolves.
Way to hold on to the ball as Jamar Brown goes low. He goes end over end after making that catch, and he's able to keep it in.
Collison hasn't made a ton of noise on the stat sheet this season, but back-to-back targets there. A give. Hunter, he's met for a short gain on first down.
Number 6, the ball carrier, Eli
Or rather, not
Sanders.
Hunter, Eli Sanders carried the ball, the junior.
Jeremiah Trojan with the tackle. We haven't had to say his name much. He is a big, strong football player with 3 years varsity experience. He was here for the bad times, and now he's here for the good. He's a big reason for the good.
We get to the great
Number
story
4,
with him and
A.J. Hunter,
Trojan.
the ball carrier.
His last name is Hunter. Scampers through. He's got a first down. Gain of 7 or 8 on the dot. Gets the first down, but
Now the ball
his
marked
name is
back
Trojan.
at
He's going to
46.
UCLA.
Yeah, that's a fantastic story. And, he went through that rigorous UCLA recruitment process that Chip Kelly puts everyone through. I mean, they really want to make sure that you want to be a Bruin. And he did, and he was able to pass all their tests, and he'll be out there with his ironic last name trying to do for UCLA what he's done for Hamilton the last couple of years.
On 1st and 10, Keon Grays receives a screen pass and gets 5 yards.
Yes, a 5-yard
2nd and 5 for Chandler, and now their offense looks like it's flowing.
ball marked at the
Yeah, it really does. You're starting to see some substitution packages. You're starting to see throws to both sides of the field. Sometimes it takes Hamilton's defense showing you what it's going to do before you can start to pick apart those soft spots.
Day Hunter breaks a tackle into the second level, and he's tripped up, but after a first down, nearing the 30-yard line.
Great downfield blocking from Jalen Richmond there.
Spotted at the 32.
ball marked at the
5.5 minutes to go in the half. Again, Chandler will receive the second half kickoff. Pistol formation, Sanders in the backfield. They'll give it to Eli. Sanders straight up the gut. Gets inside the 25, but flags fly.
Up to about the 46. A penalty marker down, though, on the play.
Let's see what this call is. It came way away from the play, as it was between a hand fight between Cole Martin and his man was Keon Grays. Look, it's a rivalry game. Tempers are going to fly. If there's going to be an unsportsmanlike, it's got to be egregious if it's not offsetting. Personal foul against both players, so they will offset. We'll replay the down. So that's an example of the officials trying to take control of this game before it gets out of hand.
Yeah, and they're just firing a warning shot there. Obviously, you've got a 4-receiver set out to the right side of the field, not really even part of the play and what's going on. So, you just want to make sure that you keep things calmed down so they don't escalate.
So it was after the play, so the run still stands for a gain of 5. 2nd and 5. Give to Sanders. He gets the first down, and Chandler is in the red zone for the first time tonight.
And Jeremiah Trojan got into the backfield there, but it looked like he wasn't 100% sure if the running back had the ball. He hesitates, and they end up giving up a first down.
Sanders averaging 100 yards a game, even though he doesn't get the bulk of the carries, only his 5th game.
He's a very, very, very talented Mountain Point running back the last couple of years. Transfers over to Chandler to be part of this powerhouse rushing attack. Is one of about 5 running backs who you could count among the top 20 in the state. Chandler is definitely blessed when it comes to ball carriers.
Chandler has another good running back? What do you mean?
Well, going into this year, Jaheim Brown-Taylor was really set to be the guy who was going to start. He's a track star. He's a little bit more of a slight build, a little bit of the Paul Lucas mold you might remember from previous years at Mountain Point. But because he was banged up due to injury, and you had Day Hunter transfer in, and then the addition of Eli Sanders, he kind of falls to the wayside a little bit. But he did have 1 carry for 70 yards and a touchdown last week. We might see him used in some capacity tonight.
There was an issue with the play clock there, so that's why the play has stopped for a moment. They're waiting for the play clock to start rolling. Officials, everyone's just kind of looking around at each other right now. 4:46 to go in the half. 21-7 Chandler. And now the clock will run.
Back to play after the delay.
And
First and 10.
play clock is working, and now a timeout called by Hamilton. After all of that,
we have a timeout
first
again on the field.
timeout of the half for the Huskies. I think they realize the importance of these next few downs of hold to a field goal or even no points here. These are the little victories, of course, in the grand scheme of the war that you're going to look back in the fourth quarter like that was huge. That didn't get 4 points, didn't get 3 points, didn't get all 7 points, whatever it may be.
Absolutely, and you're in that territory where any mistake takes you out of field goal range or can change up the type of plays that you're trying to run. So disciplined football has to be goal number one.
8 plays for 54 yards so far for Chandler on this drive, and 3:51 off of the clock. Should note Peterman's long this season is 31 yards for a field goal, which is really, they're not even in range right now. This would be 37 yards from here.
Back to play.
4:39 to go in the half. First and 10,
20
Wolves
yards.
have the ball.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Day Hunter off tackle here.
Looking to throw. Keene steps up. Lets it fly to the end zone. Touchdown, Chandler. Finds Collison again. 20 yards. Flag on the play. Holding against the defense, it will be declined.
And what did we say? We said that when Mikey Keene steps up in the pocket to pass, you can't just be passive, you can't be a spectator. Collison, whose name we hadn't said much all season, he steps up and he pulls down the ball in the middle of the end zone, and it is 21-13. Hamilton leading with 4:32 left in the half.
Isaiah Collison, only his 7th game played. He's already more than double his output. He only had 2 catches coming into the game for a long of 18 yards. That's his first touchdown of the year for the senior.
And if you've followed Chandler High football, there always seems to be somebody who steps up at the end of the season, starts to make their mark with 4 or 5 games left, and it looks like that's Isaiah Collison's turn.
Peterman's extra point is good, and it's a 1-score game again. Chandler has not even had this game tied since Hamilton scored on the opening drive. 4:32 to go in the first half. 21-14 Wolves, 9 plays, or rather 21-14 Huskies. 9 plays, 74 yards, 3:58 off the clock on that drive on the touchdown for the Wolves.
Now this is when the pressure pendulum starts to shift toward Hamilton, because 4 minutes and 32 seconds is a lot of time. If you're not going to have a successful drive as far as yardage and picking up first downs, you do need to make sure that you bleed the clock a little bit, because you don't want to go into halftime tied up, kicking the ball back to Chandler in this dangerous offense.
They haven't really done much on the ground. In fact, it's really been all Arve as far as positive yardage on the ground.
Peterman prepares the
As far as
kickoff.
everything of running out clock. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half. And they also, by the way, assess that holding penalty on the touchdown onto this kickoff, hence why he's kicking on the 50-yard line. The boot,
Peterman
and this was a touchback.
kicks the ball into the end zone. As a return man, Brendan Rice and number 21, Phil Martin, watch the ball sail into the end zone for the touchback.
Hamilton's offense comes back out. They come into the game averaging 42
So
points a
Hamilton High
contest.
School, first and 10.
And they've done it from a balanced attack. Even almost exactly between passing yards and rushing yards on average in their games. But as far as scoring goes, it's been mostly rushing. That's not been the case tonight. 2 through the air, both to Brendan Rice, and 1 on the ground, Arve keeping it himself.
The one thing I like about this Hamilton offense is if they don't need to throw the ball, they won't. They won't show you anything that they don't have to.
The running back on this drive is Dorman. Here in pistol right now with Arve. He'll give to Dorman. And no, rather, Arve keeps it and he slides and avoids a huge hit that would have been delivered by Gunnar Maldonado.
Some self-preservation there from Nick Arve.
And he's still got a gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah.
A 6-yard pickup.
2nd and 4 upcoming for the Huskies.
Wasn't the cleanest slide I've ever seen, but he got down.
That's all that matters. Approaching 4 minutes to go in the half. 2nd and 4. Looking to throw. Arve near side. Has a first down. A great catch. That was Caden Hattendorf. Second catch of the game for Caden, the senior, 6'2", 182 pounds.
First and 10 now.
Good job by Hattendorf there to work the sideline. Sharp, crisp route, cut back to Arve, and he was there when the ball was.
They're certainly content with letting this clock bleed. 3:40 in ticking. Again, both teams with 2 timeouts. Give to Dorman. Up the middle, he's got room. Dorman breaks another tackle. And he's into Chandler territory down at the 45.
Number 5 of the Huskies, Sebastian
Gain
Dorman.
of 18 on the play.
Carries the ball up to about the 46-yard line.
Some quick feet there for Dorman. I mean, he got every yard there that was available to him and more before getting dragged out of bounds by Gunnar Maldonado.
He actually got 4 touches in last year's contest, but only carried the ball for 9 yards. 3:20 in counting. Lewis in motion. Arve rolling left. Overthrows everything.
Looked like it was a dangerous pass until you saw where he was throwing it to, the cheerleaders on the sideline.
Yeah, that was halfway to the Hamilton student section. And how about the bleachers? I mean, it is filled out in the main grandstands here at Austin Field.
Absolutely, and you know that's what you like to see, the sea of blue, the sea of black. The energy around this game is something that really can't be matched. Very few rivalries around the state rise to this level.
Clock stopped for a moment at 3:09. That was only Arve's 4th incompletion on 14 tries. 10 of 14 for 134 yards and 2 passing scores. A stretch here to Dorman. Again, up the middle. He gets yardage near the marker. Inside the 40 and down at the 37.
And his carry good enough.
It's good enough for a first down. They spot him just short of the 36.
Hamilton's offense and play caller Andy Litton, who is a very, very good head coach out at Marana in southern Arizona before moving up to be the Hamilton offensive coordinator, he's got the Chandler defense literally on their heels. These linebackers aren't attacking like they usually do.
Number 3, the ball carrier.
Give to Zach Lewis here. The wideout's got nowhere to go. Message sent. Gunnar Maldonado.
You know, you look at Gunnar Maldonado, you look at his size, you look at his build, and you wonder, can this kid play Big Ten football? It's incredibly physical out there. He's going to be at Northwestern next year. You see hits like that, and you figure, you know, they know exactly what they're getting in Gunnar Maldonado.
Loss of 4, so 2nd and 14 on the way. Only the 2nd negative play for Hamilton. Arve ready to throw. He's in trouble, and he's brought down. First man there, Brandon Buckner. His 11th sack of the season. A loss of 12 and 3rd and forever on the way.
Back to the 48-yard line.
We're going to keep letting this clock roll, but I imagine Chandler will pull timeout, and they have. 1:49, the clock is frozen. 1 timeout remaining for
Timeout on
Chandler.
the field, Chandler High School.
You don't usually pick a time when the defense gets a sack to praise the offensive line, but the fact that Brandon Buckner hasn't been in the backfield dragging down Nick Arve all night is genuinely a surprise, because Buckner has had his way with absolutely everyone since returning from injury earlier in the season.
The junior, 6'2", 236 pounds. In fact, he's actually gained a few pounds from that original listing of muscle. He's not committed yet. Plenty of offers, 7 of them at this point. And we've talked about it. There'll be obviously a few coaches always in these big rivalry games as the playoffs arrive. It is a bye week for the in-state Arizona State Sun Devils, and haven't seen her myself, but I imagine him and the crew are definitely going around Arizona, Southern California, wherever they need to be this weekend.
Yeah, Herm did make a trip out here to watch Chandler Hamilton, him and offensive coordinator Rob Likens. They got to see what Day-Day Hunter and Eli Sanders could do up close. No offers as of yet. The clubhouse leader for Day-Day Hunter, University of Wyoming, up close to where he transferred in from in northern Colorado.
Folks in Laramie would love to have him, but they know there will be competition. A minute 49 to go in the half, and 3rd and 25, back in their own territory. They'll play conservative, a give to Lewis. Breaks off a tackle, spins forward, and he gets to the 30-yard line. So a gain of 12, but when you've got so long to go, the point was to stay in bounds, and Chandler will call its final time out of the half with 98 seconds to go.
You know, Zach Lewis, he's been part of this rivalry, 3-4 years now, and he has yet to taste victory. This is really the first 4-year class of Hamilton Huskies that has never had a win against Chandler. And the same can't be said for the freshmen, because on Wednesday, the Hamilton Huskies put an absolute licking on the Chandler Wolves. I think it was about a 5-touchdown win. And so you're starting to see the youth football pipeline into Hamilton pick back up. Things are getting better for Hamilton, but this group of seniors, they badly want to win. It's a small group of seniors because many of them actually transferred out over the last few years.
And I'm glad you mentioned the freshmen. And not only the freshmen, but the JV also. Hamilton defeated Chandler this week. So a sign, and you look at this extremely competitive game, 1-score contest at the end of the first half. This rivalry may start to be changing, even though Chandler is still undoubtedly the best team in the state at 9-0 and dominating teams. A plus 402 point differential to this point in the year, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
This is something that folks here in Chandler would love to see happen. Kind of like when Chandler first started to get things going against Hamilton in 13 and 14. These games were competitive, 2-score games, and only lately has it really blown open.
Yeah, for as exciting as a rivalry as this has been, he spent a lot of time being one-sided on either side of it.
Maldonado back to receive. He's just there to fill space. A low punt, and it gets inside the 15. Squirts out of bounds near the 10-yard line. And see where the spot is. It is officially the 10-yard line, so it'll be a 35-yard punt.
Anything is better than the early days of this rivalry when Chandler scored 1 touchdown in the first 6 meetings, including the first ever meeting in which I do not believe Hamilton had any seniors.
Amazing to think about now here in 2019. So here's a huge opportunity for the Wolves. They receive the second half kickoff. They've got 92 seconds to go 90 yards with no timeouts. Keene ready to throw. Looking deep. Down the near side. Just a few yards long. A run and go there with Jalen Richmond. First time we've seen him targeted tonight.
And that's a chance that you have to take if Hamilton's not going to play any safeties over the top, which is kind of a dangerous thing to do here with the entire field at your back, knowing that Chandler only has a minute 27 to get things going. You see that type of coverage, you got to trust your receivers and take a shot.
He chucked that ball 46 yards. He needed to drop it about 42 yards. So 127 now on 2nd and 10. Off to the far side, room to run, and gets just enough for the first down. That was a graze again. And the clock does stop. First down, Wolves.
That pass play good enough for a Wolves first down. The ball marked at the 22. So
1:21 to go.
From there.
He got out of bounds. Clock will stay frozen until the snap. Quick screen out to the right side again. Graze, and doesn't get as much this time. A gain of 4 or 5.
That pass complete. The receiver out of bounds quickly.
Only 3 seconds came off the clock there.
27-yard line.
And if there's something that Hamilton doesn't like, or if they feel like they're getting gassed, they have 2 timeouts to play with as well.
4 to 5
So
yards
Chandler has
on the
no
pickup.
timeouts. Hamilton
So
has
the
2.
little second down, a long 5.
Keene ready. Looking over the middle, wide open. Inside Hamilton territory. Eli Sanders.
And again, no safeties over the top for Hamilton, and so Chandler's able to run a running back right up the seam, and he had plenty of daylight there. A huge gain for Chandler.
40 yards for Sanders. One of his biggest plays of the season. 1:07 and rolling. From the 34, Day Hunter tries to break a tackle, gets inside the 30, gain of a couple.
Day Hunter, the ball carrier.
Trying to get him up, but everyone's slow to get up. No timeouts for Chandler. 48 seconds. Eli Sanders comes in now.
Marked at the 28. A 5-yard pick.
Hamilton's
Second
all
down,
over the place right now.
Whoa.
Low snap. Keene can't get it. The ball is free. Here comes Hamilton. Down the near side. Hamilton will score on the game's first giveaway. Alex Wheeler, the senior, scoops and scores 61 yards.
Hamilton High School.
What an incredible shift in momentum for these Hamilton Huskies.
A 67-yard return of the fumble by number 8, Alex Wheeler.
The senior defensive end, he's played in every game this year. It was a poor snap. Keene couldn't knock it down. He overran the ball, and Wheeler saw what was his and untouched to the house.
Everything in you at that point is probably screaming, fall on the ball. But with Mikey Keene down on the ground and nothing but daylight in front of him, great play by Alex Wheeler to pick that ball up, take it down the sideline for a score. Who would have seen that coming? Hamilton taking quite the lead before halftime.
There was a call there before the extra point.
Into the point after for Hamilton High, number 19, Colin Ford.
Couldn't tell what David Gustafson was trying to share, but the touchdown is official. Kofal on for the extra point to make it a 2-score game.
Snap is back.
28-14 Huskies in the first half. And Austin Field is silent.
Now, I don't know about you, Dom, but I looked at that and I see, Mikey Keene sort of trying to get a head start on that snap, but it still felt like it was probably too low for him to get the hang of. I feel like that one is probably on the center.
And that was compounded by the fact that with a low snap, he's also conscious of the fact they have no timeouts remaining. So if he does get the ball and just falls on it, they got to get up and go again for a spike. So there's a lot going through his head there, you could tell, and just overran it by 2 steps, and that was just enough for Wheeler to come on in and take care of the rest.
And Chandler offensive line coach Chris Chick just passed us in the booth. He's heading down to the field to, I'm sure, give that offensive line a little bit of a talking to at halftime. I know that he doesn't want his unit to be responsible for a turn right before half like that. Chandler had the opportunity to possibly have it be a tie game and receiving the kickoff going into the second half. Now they find themselves down 14. It'll be interesting to see what they do here with 27 seconds left on the clock.
And remember, the first score for the Wolves, a 54-yard run from Day Hunter. And then their only other score came on a more traditional drive as Paulison, someone who we didn't really talk about heading into this game as someone who could factor in. He only had 2 catches coming into the game all season. He's got 3 tonight, including a touchdown. So they haven't had, other than Hunter, their main horses going.
Yeah, and you know what? Chandler does not look bad offensively. I'm sure that
100%.
They're not up to their own standards, but just as an outside observer, they're moving the ball. They're moving the ball, they're making adjustments, they're getting players involved who haven't traditionally been involved. And guess what? they have 14 points. They almost had their third touchdown of the half right there. But you can't make mistakes when the other offense is rolling. And Hamilton got off to that quick start. And if you're Chandler, all of a sudden, everything you do comes under intense scrutiny. You can't have the penalties that you usually get when you're up 5 touchdowns, which is where they're usually at this point in the game. You can't turn the ball over when you're down. So this is unfamiliar territory to them, and it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back.
And looking over on the Chandler sideline, as sitting on the bench, Tavai Naher, the center, was all alone on the bench, and plenty of his teammates have come over to get him up, have him stand up, and just shake off that bad snap.
Yeah, he came over to the sideline, bounced his helmet off the turf, and he's got some teammates out there lifting him up right now. Mistakes get made. He has the opportunity to get right back out there and throw some blocks for his running back and for his quarterback.
So they try to do a short kick and catch him by surprise, but all over it there. Bubba Aquin gets the fair catch, but I imagine there's going to be taking a knee here with just 25 seconds to go until halftime.
Yeah, with no timeouts, that could be the strategy. Then again, they've had plenty of walk-off situations.
We've seen a lot of fake knees in the college ranks this season.
Oh my goodness, that'd be the one thing that'd be the one thing to get the bad blood back into this rivalry, like the days of Iguano and Bellis. So it'll be interesting to see what they go with here. But a fake knee would certainly add an interesting element to this game.
This has a draw or screen written all over it right now. There have been a handful of delays the last 3 plays of the officials here. And I don't know if it's an issue with the play clock or whatever it may be, but obviously the referee is not mic'd up. So we don't know what's happening.
Seems like everybody's signaling up here to the booth. So something's going on up here. With one of our roommates up here.
The scoreboard currently doesn't have the down or yards to go. That's not a reason to stop the game. Are they trying to reset the game clock to add a little more time to it? That's what the signal looks like from the near sideline of Chandler. 27 seconds on the clock now. All right. 1.6 added. No safeties here.
No safeties again. The way that Chandler was motioning to the booth to get that 1 second back does not make it seem like they're going to take a knee.
No timeouts, down by 2 scores. Whistles. Timeout Hamilton. And I think they heard us. We got 1 timeout remaining in case they want.
Timeout on the field.
With Ralph Amsden, I'm Dominic Cotronio. This has been a fun one, and quite frankly, here at halftime, a score that a lot of people wouldn't have expected.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit caught off guard by the way that Hamilton was able to move the ball on this defense, and obviously taking advantage of the opportunity of the botched snap. It puts them in a really, really good position. But there's been some momentum swings back to Chandler. You can feel themselves getting back into this game. Gunnar Maldonado really bringing the energy on the defensive side of the ball. And offensively, getting a couple of new receivers involved. I don't feel like by any means Chandler is out of it, but we're definitely in the danger zone because Hamilton is a good football team, and they're a mature football team. They've been here before. They're 8-1 for a reason. They performed much better defensively against rival Perry than Chandler did. So you have to take them very seriously.
Out of the Hamilton timeout. 27 seconds to go. A 14-point advantage for the Huskies. Chandler receives a second half kickoff. Let's see what they try to do here. They'll just give it away. Day Hunter. A little room. Stiff arms the man of the turf. Gets 6 yards, and that'll take us to halftime.
The ball carrier.
Some urgency here. One last play coming. Give again to Day. Gets a first down, but just those sprinkles right now on top of the Sunday. But all Hamilton in the first half. We're through 24 minutes, and it's 28-14. Huskies with the advantage over the Wolves in this Arizona Avenue rivalry. One thing for certain, Ralph, this is going to be an exciting second half, one way or another. An undefeated with on the ropes right now, and a longtime rival that has consistently put them down to where they feel they should be as the little brother, as you mentioned at the beginning of the show. This is a huge opportunity for Hamilton. They're very safely in the open division, but a win here, and things really get crazy as far as those 8 teams in the open and who is going to match up in their brackets.
Yeah, I mean, it would. You know, a lot of teams, I think, are depending on Chandler being that number 1 seed.
Absolutely.
You know, imagine, you know, fighting all season long to earn a number 6 seed in the Open Division playoffs and having to open up against number 3 Chandler. You know, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. But, you know, you're the best of the best for a reason. You got to play the games in front of you. But, you know, Chandler's not out of it. They're still a very talented team. The thing that I'm most interested in seeing in the second half is how Nick Arve continues to handle the pressure of being up in a game like this. I mean, you know, Nick Arve, he's not a guy with a ton of offers. He's definitely not the most storied quarterback to ever play in this rivalry. Chandler is the one that has sent several quarterbacks in a row to play at the Division I level. But Nick Arve, you know, he's run for a touchdown. He's thrown for a couple more. He looks very good, and his name is going to be forever etched in the battle for Arizona Avenue. You know, and this is somebody who came from the far Southeast Valley. He was set to be the heir apparent to Gunnar Cruz out there at Castile High School. He bets on himself. He gets a few starts as a junior, and he was part of that 49-7 loss last year. This is a pretty big turnaround.
He was only 17 of 32 with 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions last year. He also lost a fumble. This year, in the first half, he has been terrific. 10 of 14, 134 yards, also 62 yards on the ground, 2 scores through the air, 1 score on the ground. He's already outgained his total from last year in 1 half.
Yeah, and I mean, he looks calm. It doesn't look like the moment's too big for him. You know, second half's a little bit of a different story. You know, it's when it really matters. You know, what are they going to do with this lead? Are they going to change up the way that they're playing? Are they going to change up the momentum had kind of really swung back toward Chandler. You know, it was 21-7, and it looked like it was going to be 21-21 there for a moment. And you get to come out in the second half playing defense with a 2-score lead, but you're not going to win this game without moving the ball. So will Nick Arve be able to engineer a couple of drives to fend off Chandler in the second half?
So that takes us to halftime. We'll leave you with the Hamilton Band. Currently 17 more minutes to go in the halftime clock. Our score at the break, Hamilton 28, Chandler 14. We got another second half to come live on Sports 360 AZ.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the Husky Pride Marching Band. We thank you for letting us be part of your evening, and thank you to the Wolfpack Pride Marching Band, and we wish you the best of luck at State Marching Festival tomorrow. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest band in Arizona, the Wolfpack Pride Marching Band. Tonight's presentation will be two parts of Evening in Transylvania. Drum majors Trent Geiser, Andrea Apodaca, and Heather Walkley. Is your band ready? The night is yours.
that was your Wolfpack marching band. The pride is under the direction of Carlos Aguero and Sarah Bowerman.
Hey fans, direct your attention to the 50-yard line. We'd like to tell you that the week of Chandler-Hamilton football game has become known as Rivalry Week. The student councils from both schools have worked diligently to raise money for the Arizona chapter of Make-A-Wish Foundation. Make-A-Wish Foundation provides experiences for children with serious illness. These wishes cost on average $2,500. Tonight we are proud to announce that the total amount raised this week from both schools is $4,627. Thank you for your generosity. Again, Chandler High Athletics would like to thank the following sponsors of Chandler football and all the sports here at Chandler High School. They are Black Bear Diner, Right Orthodontics, Crumble Cookies. Stop by tonight for a cookie after the game. Also Slice of Chicago, Pella Windows, Footprint, and Blue Media. All proud sponsors of Chandler High Athletics. Thank you.
Hamilton late coming out of the locker room, but they're ready to go. 3 minutes until we kick off with Ralph Emsden of Arizona Varsity. I'm Dominic Cotronio. This is unexpected, but we're all surprised. We're all excited for this second half. 28-14 the score. Hamilton with the lead. They have not trailed in this game. They scored on the opening drive, have not looked back since. And when you look at this first half, yes, Chandler's had its struggles. They had the big mistake on the bat snap, but you have to give Hamilton the credit. They have played almost to perfection to this point in the game.
Absolutely. You cannot have expected anything more from them. Like 28 points at halftime, not only a crucial defensive stop, but a touchdown off of that stop. They look every bit as good as their 8-1 record would indicate. It's a short road, but they're doing this on the road to end the season. They're fighting for their open division playoff lives. Even with a loss, they'd probably stay in, but nothing's guaranteed. And so, Hamilton wants to show that they're not just the Hamilton of old, but it's a new version of that they're ready to play with the big boys, that they're ready to get back to that dominant football. And, they're putting together a special season. You just have to, wonder if they can close it out. The psychology of this rivalry is probably what's most interesting about it, that one team has spent so much time dominating, and then it flipped. The other team spent all the rest of the time dominating. The only time that this rivalry was really close was in 2013. Which is
first time.
Exactly, which is when most of these seniors were sixth graders, fifth graders, and so a lot of these players haven't experienced success. The closest they've come to success is this halftime score. So you have to wonder if they have what it takes to close out the mighty Chandler Wolves.
And to build on that, in the regular season matchups, again, Chandler has won every year since 2013, which was the first year that they won. This has actually matched the highest point output total for Hamilton in any of those regular season matchups. They have not scored more than 28 points in any of those games. They only did it once. It was a game they lost 63-28 in 2016.
Yes, and for the longest time, Hamilton wasn't really built to be a high output offense, and that's a big reason why this rivalry flipped, was that Hamilton sort of ran that smash mouth football for the longest time. Chandler took up and eventually bypassed them with the high-powered spread option offense and with their Division I caliber quarterbacks.
So Hamilton with the lead. They'll be kicking off after they had won the toss and elected to receive and scored. Maldonado on the near side. The man in the center of this formation for Chandler. That is Nicholas Nesbitt. And on the far side, that's Baron Miles. Now to kick off, it's Brody Kofall. The senior has had a couple of touchbacks at this point already. The crowd ready to go. 24 more minutes to decide who will run Arizona Avenue for the next year. Kick is away, and it is into the end zone. A touchback. The Wolves will set up shop at the 20. In the first half, Mikey Keene, 9 of 14 passing, 104 yards. Day Hunter was the story. Only 11 carries, and he's over the century mark, 103 yards. He also had a huge touchdown of 50-plus yards. On the receiving end, Keon Grays has 4 catches for 23 yards. On the other side, for Hamilton, Brendan Rice has 3 catches for 81 yards, including 2 touchdowns.
It's gut check time for Mikey Keene.
Gives to Day Hunter on the first play of the second half. Spins off a man, breaks another tackle, carries a man for a first down, and a gain of 15 to open the second half.
Number 6 of the Huskies, Isaiah Blanco.
That was an aggressive spin move from Day Hunter.
Blanco eventually brought him down. 15 yards on play number 1, and there's some tempo here for Chandler's offense. They feed Hunter again. Tries to switch back to the right side, bounces off one man, doesn't get much more after that, a gain of 3. The big play of the first half, in case you're just joining us, as Chandler was driving at the end of the half, with no timeouts remaining and 40 seconds left, right on the doorstep of the red zone, a bad snap got away from Mikey Keene, and Alex Wheeler picked it up and ran down for a 66-yard score and made it a 2-score game. Tight formation here. Keene ready to throw. Looking over the middle, has a man, breaks off a tackle. It's Grays on the near side, and he's out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
He was able to break 2 tackles on that catch before being upended by Jamar Brown. Hamilton not doing a very good job of wrapping up on this opening drive.
30-yard gain for Grays. They're moving fast. 1st and 10 for the Wolves, spotted officially at the 33. A give to Hunter. Breaks out left side, rather, Eli Sanders. And he's just shy of the first down. And flag is down, and a man is hurt. And that is Jeremiah Trojan. He just got up under his own power, but there's a penalty marker down. And this was after the play.
Step to the right, step to the left for Eli Sanders there. He scores, but he ends up running right into the back of Jalen Richmond, who was blocking downfield for him. Takes out himself and Richmond in the process.
After the play was over, it's an unsportsmanlike against Chandler. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, and it will be 2nd down.
A 15-yard mark-off from the spot of the foul, so the Wolves first
Really,
down.
I don't think the Wolves had a penalty the entire second quarter. After they got off to a slow start when it comes to the penalties in the first quarter. That's their 5th of the game. So it backs them all the way up to the Hamilton 40. They'll bring up a 2nd and 17 after the run.
More than the yardage, it's interrupting the tempo that is the problem with that penalty.
A fake. Keene rolling out right. Over the middle, has a man. Down the far side, Collison is inside the 10.
That pass complete to number 11, Isaiah Collison.
He's spotted down at the 7, or rather at the 9-yard line. A gain of 31, and 1st and goal for the Wolves. Still over 10 minutes to play in the third, and Hamilton showing pressure. A give to Sanders. Runs into the pile and doesn't have much.
Sanders, the ball carrier.
A sentence that I did not expect to hear myself saying heading into this game, but where would Chandler be without Isaiah Collison right now?
Incredible. He's got the one of the scores in this game for Chandler. He's got a huge chunk play there for 31 yards.
Ball marked at about the 7. So 2nd goal to go. Wolves.
9:40 to play in the third. Day Hunter back into the game in pistol. They'll give to him. Hunter running left. He's met at the line. Tries to spin off, but hanging on with the tackle. Hamilton gets Victor Zayas with the tackle, the junior linebacker.
A 2-yard loss on that carry.
Loss of 2. It's another tackle for loss for Zayas. It's actually his 4th tackle for loss this year.
Way to fight through the block. He still had a man hanging all over him. Used his loose arm to wrap up the ball carrier and hung on for dear life.
So now 3rd and goal from just about the 10. Big spot for Chandler. Alone up top right now for the Wolves if they choose to go there with Collison. Keene rolling toward the right side, and he's short. Eli Swope on the reception. The junior comes up short. A 2-score game, decision time for Rick Garrettson.
There's no way you can roll the kicker out there. You have to have confidence in this offense. They're what got you to this point. It's just a couple of yards. If you can't pick this up, and I know I'm speaking for the Chandler coaching staff on this, but if you can't pick this up in critical moments, then maybe you don't deserve to be out there.
3 yards to the goal line. 4th and goal. Huge play. They break out of the huddle quickly. Keene under center. A flip. Hunter on the pitch. Spins off a man. Stretches out the ball. Touchdown.
Mikey Keene is fired up down there on the field.
A 4-yard touchdown run.
4 yards for Day Hunter. His 2nd score of the game and his 28th on the year. And Chandler needed it. They score on their opening drive of the second half. 10 plays, 80 yards. It took 3:51. Peterman to kick. Every extra point, you gotta keep an eye on. This one's good.
Kick is good.
The way that this game is mapping towards, it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. You feel like at this point.
Yeah, I mean, everything matters at this point. Every snap has to be crisp. You know, you got to make sure that you're not holding. You got to make sure that you're not up to no good after the play. Everything matters at this point. You want to be the hero, not the GOAT. And so Chandler needs to make sure that they play disciplined football, because that drive shows you exactly what they're made of. When they're firing on all cylinders, they can go out there and get exactly what they want.
And you look at Isaiah Collison, they had a 2nd and 17 after an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and Isaiah Collison goes for 31 yards on the next play. That's his longest play from scrimmage all season. A guy who came into the game with only 2 receptions on the season, and he's got 4 tonight, including for a touchdown and a huge first down.
And Mikey Keaton, he's just so dangerous on the rollout. And that's what, once you get the running game going, you're able to use that play action rollout. You have a receiver coming across the field, they're usually going to come open, and that's when Mikey Keaton is at his best, and it really showed up on that drive.
Cole Martin, the freshman on the far side, the return. It's directed his way, and he stays inside the goal line. Martin taking this out. Cole Martin on the far sideline. There goes the freshman. He's shoved out of bounds across the 40. And momentum swings again. Pretty much from the goal line, they'll officially call it the 1, and he's spotted at the 41, a 40-yard return.
Cole Martin, the first freshman skill position player to get playing time on varsity for Hamilton in my memory of this entire rivalry.
8:01 to go in the third, and it's a one-score game again. Hamilton has not trailed, nor has this game even been tied since it was zeros. Trouble in the backfield. Harvey had to hang on to it. Zion Magalai came in flying. The junior defensive end gets his 8th tackle for a loss, technically a sack. A loss of 3, loss of 4 really, 2nd and 14.
And the Magalay brothers having equal impact on this game on opposite sides of the ball. Nehemiah Magalay is probably Chandler's most notable offensive lineman.
Empty set, looking deep. Arve down the far side, and it's overthrown. Looking for Brendan Rice, and flags fly.
Great call there. You can't hold the receiver down the field like that. You know, if you're going to put hands on him, you at least have to have your head on a swivel to make it look like, you know, you're trying to make a play on the ball. They were definitely trying to make a play on Brendan Rice and Brendan Rice only.
And the debate from the Chandler side is saying, oh, that ball was uncatchable, but the call is going to be defensive holding, not a pass interference.
Right, and I mean, there's no question on this one. It would have been more of an issue if they didn't throw the flag. The last 4 or 5 steps there for Brendan Rice on that route, he was fully engaged with the defensive back who had his face mask in Brendan's chest, wasn't turning around looking for the ball. He was being held back from being able to complete that route.
So it's officially a face mask penalty, as you mentioned. So 6 penalties for 55 yards for Chandler. I'm not sure if Hamilton even has a penalty tonight. A give, Armenta gets a big hole, and he's across and inside the 40, near the 35, of first down for Hamilton. Just over 7 minutes to go in the third.
Armenta's downhill style isn't just perfect for this offense, it's perfect for this matchup. You need to take what yards you can get when you can get them against this Chandler defense.
Rice is all alone up top right now. Shuck in motion. We'll give to Armenta instead. Somehow escapes from being met in the backfield, and he still fights for a couple of extra yards. Gets a gain of 6 after he was initially met at the line.
Here I am talking about Armenta's no-nonsense style. He danced his way to safety there. I mean, he ducked out from under a tackle. When you try to tackle a running back like Armenta up high, I mean, he's going to have the ability to get underneath you. You got to make sure that you're going after his hips. You have to go after his core.
Shuck in the slot. Throwing his way. Shuck has it on 2nd and 4. Gets inside the 30, and that is close to a first down marker. It is first down, Hamilton. Every time Chandler has had momentum, Hamilton has immediately squashed it.
Yeah, a touchdown here for Hamilton would make everything Chandler does for the rest of the game extremely critical.
Arve looking to throw. Just gets it out safe, and Lewis dropped the ball. Is that a live ball? Incomplete.
That pass into the flat ball is
Kind of
incomplete.
a moment that Lewis
Intended
took
for
his
number
eye off the
3,
ball,
Zachary
thought he had the
Lewis.
catch secured, and was thinking about his cut after he saw the pursuit from Magalay there. And instead, it's an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
And you never know what they're thinking down there, but if I'm Zach Lewis, I'm probably running through my mind there is, I'm surprised they did not throw the flag on me for taking off running before the ball was snapped. And you could tell that his mind was definitely elsewhere when that ball got there, because they really needed him to make a play there.
That is a moment that you would say ball does not lie.
Ball does not lie.
5:51 to go in the third. And this is a 2nd and 10 on the way from the 27. Arve, a stretch give to Armenta. Sees part up the middle. Armenta gets inside the 15. First down, Huskies.
It almost looks like those old Denver Broncos zone blocking one cut and go type formations there for Hamilton. Armenta is just able to find daylight, and he really gets moving downhill.
16-yard rush for Armenta. 1st and 10 from the 12, so they can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Lewis in motion. Gives to Armenta. He lost his footing for a moment. Gets outside, and he's inside the 5, short of the first down. He's spotted right at the 5-yard line. So a gain of 7, and 2nd and 3 on the way.
Big Dylan McGinnis doing everything he can to make sure that there's running room on that play. Way to stick with his block.
7-yard pickup on the play.
Three-star
3.
offensive tackle,
From the
Washington State
5-yard
commit.
line.
They join Mike Leach in the air raid, and his big brother. 2nd and 3 from the 5. Arve looking to throw. On the out route, touchdown, Huskies! Brady Shuck, his 2nd receiving score of the year.
And by far his biggest. Brady Shuck has been going in motion all night long. He's been all over the field. Chandler has had to do everything possible to account for him, and most of the time when they're putting him in motion, they're running the ball. So he's easy to kind of forget about out there, and he ends up making a huge, huge play in the flat, catching himself a touchdown to make this 34-21.
So another 2-score advantage for Hamilton. Kick away, and it is good for
Kick is good. So
the senior Kofal. And a 9-play drive, only needed 59 yards thanks to the great return. 3:36 off the clock. Both teams have scored to start the second half, and Hamilton has now scored more points than any of the last 6 matchups against these Chandler Wolves, and we're not even through the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, even by the early rivalry days standards, this is quite a lot of scoring for Hamilton. They are in a groove. They're peaking at the exact right moment in the season. You have to wonder if Chandler took this game seriously. They've absolutely dismantled everyone that they've played this year, and so you really, really have to wonder if they were possibly looking past this game. And I know that's sacrilegious to say because the battle for Arizona Avenue is a really big deal. But at the same time, this is a very talented Chandler team that's given up 35 points through 2.5 quarters.
This is the 2nd most points that the Wolves have allowed this season. They had the absolutely insane, wacky, just, there's not enough adjectives to describe the final from here against Perry earlier in the year, 84-49. So you say, oh, you gave up 49 points and won still by almost doubling up your opponent.
Yeah, and that's a situation where it takes you 1 or 2 plays to score, so your defense is spending the entire game on the field. against a very dangerous Chubba Purdy.
Up to about the 23-yard line.
Chubba Purdy had it going in
So
that
Chandler
game.
High will take over from there, first and 10.
On the return, that was Nesbitt who gets to about the 24. It's a 20-yard return. And that's where Chandler will take over. 4:30 to go in the third, and they're down by 14 again.
You saw Mikey Keene very fired up after that last drive. It's all on his shoulders now.
There is still time in the game. They'll give to Eli Sanders on first down, and there goes Eli. Eli Sanders! 77 yards! Touchdown Wolves! The second time tonight they've had a massive play, but a flag looms back at the 30. Holding against the Wolves, and the touchdown is erased.
Sometimes a hole is just too big to let a play stand. If you can move a Volkswagen through a hole, it's probably because something unseemly was going on.
So it's a spot foul. They have it at the 30, so they'll do first down again from the 20 this time. So just make it a first and 14, and the play is erased.
I often wonder about the psychology of something like that. Like, you definitely just gave up a 77-yard touchdown run, and you should feel bad about it, but it didn't count for any points, and you're right back out there on the field with another chance to make a stop.
And you gassed Eli Sanders for a 77-yard sprint. So first and 14. Nothing doing on this run, as they gave to Day Hunter.
Day Hunter, the ball carrier.
A gain of 3 on the play. Second and 10 upcoming. 4 minutes to go in the third. And an injured Husky on the field.
A 3-yard pickup on the play. And we have an official timeout on the field.
Lewis.
Another consequence of chasing somebody down on a 77-yard run. You're going to have some players cramping up.
He's trying to stretch out that right leg right now. Athletic training staff coming out to tend to it. Let's kind of take a step back here now as well and try to slow the tempo, as this second half, both teams have come out swinging. And it's not so much poor defense, but as much as the offense executing the adjustments they wanted to make at the halftime locker room.
Yeah, and you know, not a lot of people know this name, but Andy Litton took a Marana Tigers team and he turned them into a formidable contender. And I went out to one of his last games as a head coach at Marana, and he watched them take down a very talented Verado team out there on the west side. The way that he calls an offense is truly special, and he probably could have been a head coach elsewhere if you really wanted to leave Marana, but he comes up to Hamilton to be an offensive coordinator under Mike Zadebski, and you're really seeing his ability to game plan. In this, you know, run option offense, you really only have 4 or 5 plays that you're going to run. It's just a matter of knowing the exact time to run them, and so far Hamilton has been on the money.
So Lewis comes off the field. Brendan Maslin is an inside linebacker who's now coming in onto this play. Lewis has been playing corner. Gotta wonder who's going to be replacing him.
Here we go, Chandler!
See Cole Martin on the near side, the freshman, as you mentioned earlier, the only skilled players to ever play as a freshman at the varsity level for Hamilton.
Which is amazing. The Taylor brothers didn't do it. Cole Luke didn't do it. It's really a special designation.
3:50 to go in the third. Keene rolling right, has a man underneath with just a hair behind Richmond. He couldn't haul it down. Clock stops and it's 3rd and 10. And coming into today, Keon Grays and Jalen Richmond had almost identical numbers. In fact, same number of catches, only 1 yard apart. One has 8 touchdowns, Richmond. Grays has 4, but we've only really talked about Grays tonight. Richmond has been totally neutralized. Keene on 3rd and 10. Toward midfield, it's broken up. incomplete pass. And it was Lewis who had just stepped off the field, and he's still feeling it. Breaks up the pass.
You
Fourth
see
down.
some on the Chandler sideline calling for a flag. There is a flag down, but it's in the backfield. And it looks like roughing the passer.
It is a roughing the passer call, so Chandler's drive gets new life. 15 yards and a first down. That is only the second penalty of the game against Hamilton.
And that's unfortunate for Hamilton. Zach Lewis made a great play on that ball. Mikey Keene underthrew it just a little bit. And it looked like for a moment there Hamilton had a stop.
Lewis is staying out there on the field, so 1st and 10 from their own 38. Keene ready to throw again. Pressure coming. Throws down the near side, and it's overthrown. It was going for Sanders. There was a little contact there near the 45, but deemed the ball was already out of play.
And Alex Wheeler doing things the right way on that play. It looked like he had Mikey Keene squared up for a second late hit in a row. He's able to step out of the way at the last moment. Everybody's safe. Everybody's fine.
35-21 Hamilton. They have not trailed. And whistles from the Chandler sideline. Someone might have been barking at the line judge. That wasn't supposed to be. Just a warning. Hamilton showing pressure on 2nd and 10. A give underneath. Tripped up Sanders. Gets 4 yards, but if it wasn't for that trip, he could still be running.
Yeah, Jamar Brown might have saved a touchdown there, diving at the knee there.
And now slow to get up, it's Brendan Maslin. 22 for Hamilton. He's going to hang in there. 3rd and 6 on the way for Chandler. They got bailed out on their last one after a roughing the passer play. No one left. Low snap, a give to Sanders, nowhere to go. Only gets 2.
Scary moment there. Last time there was a snap that was low into the left, it turned into a Hamilton touchdown.
Is this 4-down territory with under 3 minutes to go in the 3rd? That'd be quite the gamble, given the defense hasn't really had an answer for Hamilton tonight.
They had a play on 4th and goal from the 4, and it looks like they're thinking they have a play for 4th and 4 from the 44.
4 is wild. Keene is ready. 4th and 4. Another low snap. He palms the ball to pick it up. Rolling right. In pursuit. Just heaves it up. Ball bounding in the air, and it's incomplete.
Intercepted, it looked like. Jamar Brown comes down with it.
Jamar Brown caught the ball and immediately put it to the ground. Interception Hamilton on 4th and 4. The second giveaway for Chandler tonight.
Fantastic play by Jamar Brown. Ironically, with the interception, they actually lose 4 yards on the play, but they do take over possession in Chandler territory, up 2 touchdowns with 2:18 to go in the 3rd quarter.
The 4th interception for the senior season.
And again, a snap that was low and to the left.
Starting to become a theme. 2:18 to go in the 3rd, and Hamilton can take full control of this game with the score and favorable field position. They're already in plus territory at the 48. Arve to the near side, one-handed catch by Shuck. And he gets into near the 40. Still short, a gain of 6 on the play.
That was impressive. That was impressive because that looked like a clearly overthrown ball. Not only did Shuck catch it with one hand, he caught it with his palm up, running toward open space. That's one of the more crafty one-handed catches I've seen.
That's the ball you see batted in the air when they try to make the one-handed catch. 2nd and 4. Pistol formation. That's Dorman in the backfield with him. They'll give to Dorman. Cuts upfield. Got the first down and more. He's down at the 36. A gain of 6, and it's first down for Hamilton. Officially spotted at the 37, so a gain of 5.
And you're starting to feel Hamilton truly take control of this game on both sides of the ball.
And now you can feel the pace slow. Now you can feel Hamilton will take advantage of They will get the ball back again, and they will milk as much of this clock as they can. Only 13 minutes remain in this contest. And it's a 2-score game. Lewis in motion, Dorman in the backfield. Arve looking to throw. In pursuit, it's Buckner. Escapes. Arve gets tripped up about a gain of 1 or 2.
Oof, if you are Nick Arve on that play, you just got to thank your lucky stars that Brandon Buckner did not catch up to you from behind, because that is one serious athlete as a defensive lineman, and he was moving about as fast as he could move, chasing Arve down.
48 seconds to go in the third. Brendan Rice has been very quiet since that first quarter, in which he hauled in 2 touchdowns. 3 catches for 80 yards. Second and 8. A give to Dorman, and he gets the first down, moves inside the 25. Ball came free. But Hamilton fell back on top of it.
Sebastian Dorman.
First down, Huskies.
The ball bouncing around after the play, but it's down.
Clock rolling.
Ball marked at the 26.
This has massive implications
So that
for
carry
the open bracket.
is good enough for a Husky first down.
Spotted at the 26. First and 10. This will be the final play of the third quarter.
More single coverage on Brendan Rice.
Instead, they give to Armenta. Breaks off a tackle, stays on his feet, and he's down after a gain of 8. And that brings us to the fourth quarter. And what a night it's been for the men in silver and white. They put 35 points on the board against the Chandler defense that's only allowed 87 all year. 12 more minutes on the board in a 2-score game with Hamilton driving. This is really going to be an interesting finish. And one that Hamilton can finally perhaps snap the slide and really be proud of for the effort they've delivered tonight.
I tell you what, 3 quarters is enough to start to throw the reputations out the window and go based on just what you've seen on the field. Hamilton is the better football team, and that's what we've seen through 3 quarters. They're calling a better game plan on offense. Not that there's anything really wrong with what Chandler's done on the offensive side of the football. There's definitely some issues with the exchange between the center and the quarterback, but other than that, they've looked strong, and defensively, it's very clear who the better team is at this point.
Holding Chandler to just 21 points, and one of which on a big play on a huge run from Day-Day Hunter. You expect him to break one off at least once a game. I mean, he's a guy that averages over 100 yards a contest. In fact, he averages almost 12 yards per carry. So you can live with Day-Day Hunter beating you every now and then, but the fact that they've really contained everything else has been impressive for him.
Absolutely, and you're getting big-time performances from this group of Hamilton seniors. Again, it's a smaller senior class. This school has over 4,000 kids, so you don't need to feel sorry for them. You know, they're not Sisters of the Poor or anything, but it's a smaller group than they're used to.
Into the red zone on 2nd and 3. Arve going deep, looking for the end zone, and it's broken up.
That pass downfield falls.
Was looking for Christian Anaya. Like the pass was broken up by Tate Romney.
Can't ask for a better throw than that. That's something that Anaya has to come down with.
The sophomore in his 8th game.
Third down and
He's been kind of quiet today, and now a huge third down.
from the old 19.
Clock stopped at 11:55 to go. We're in the 4th. Chandler absolutely needs this stop. From here, if there are no yards, it will be a 36-yard field goal. Shuck in motion. Instead, they give to Armenta. Spins off a man, falls forward, and it's close to the first down.
Appears to have enough yardage for the first down.
4th down signaled by the judges. PA tried to say first down. I think it's 4th and inches here. 4th down. You gotta stay on the field here. If you're Hamilton, that is. Harvey staying out there.
Check that, short of the first down.
4th and inches, and he's going to take the snap and shotgun.
And at nose tackle for Chandler, you see big Lingy Havea, BYU commit, brought in right over the center.
High snap, give to Armenza, runs into the stuff. It's close.
Number 23, Gabriel Armenta, the ball carrier, appears to be short of the first down marker.
No signal officially. They have spotted the ball. First down, Wolves. They stopped them. Turnover. It's the first time tonight Hamilton has not been able to move the yard they need.
I don't think anybody would have an easy time getting that yard when they put 6'1", 340-pound BYU commit Lingy Havea. He's a transfer from Mesa High School, and they knew that they had something special with him. Of all of the players that transferred in, he was probably the one that they were most excited about to get back for Week 6, and he makes what is probably the play of the game so far for these Chandler Wolves.
It gives Chandler an actual opportunity. 11 and a half to go in the game, and they're down by 2 scores. And they will give on first down. Day Hunter bounces off of a couple of Huskies, and he still falls forward. Flag on the play on the far sideline. And early signals an illegal formation.
And you have to appreciate that Hamilton was trying to really exercise their will in that moment on 4th and inches, but a made field goal in that situation does make it a 3-score game in the 4th quarter.
Marked off against the Wolves for a false start. Ball taken back to the 12.
So they let the play run. Didn't hear any whistles at the snap, but it was announced as a false start. I think it was an illegal formation. Anyway, first and 15, 11:15 to go. A fake to Hunter, out to the flat. Hey, Grays cuts it back, spinning, and he's across the 45. They get it back and then some. And a couple of Huskies down at the end of the play. He's spotted at the 46-yard line.
A devastating spin move from Keon Grays.
A gain of 33 on the play.
That pass play complete to number 84, Keon Gray.
Can't get eyes on the number that is down for Hamilton.
At this point, so timeout on the field.
So this slows things down now, and our focus is shifted to the injured Husky down near the midfield stripe. Well, to go back to your point, Ralph, about kicking a field goal in that situation for Hamilton and maybe what they were feeling, Kofal has only attempted 1 field goal this year, and he missed it. So the longest field goal anyone has made on the squad for Hamilton belongs to Colin Fuller. He made a 26-yarder earlier in the season, but he hasn't been kicking tonight. Still checking on the player down at the midfield marker. We have not been able to see his number yet. And a hush falls on the stadium. This could be serious.
There were 3 defenders in the area of Grays when he spun, I believe causing the Hamilton defenders to run into each other. There were 2 defenders on the ground at the end of the play. One was able to get up. It looked like the other wasn't really moving. You do see some movement in the arms right now. So, I mean, that's really good to see. But both training staffs, coaches, everybody are all huddled over on the Hamilton sideline right now, and we're hoping for the best for that player.
I think they're signaling for the EMTs as they're walking onto the field now as well. Chandler PD and FD here, and
Now, this is why you have first responders on site. This is unfortunately a very, very dangerous game.
As, looks like a stretcher is on its way out right now, coming from the south end. Just to set the scene, when play resumes, it'll be 1st and 10 Wolves with 11:02 to go in the 4th. As concern is still out on the 50-yard line. And Hamilton sideline is cheering, finally up. I believe that is number 6, Isaiah Blanco. And he's had a huge game tonight, if it is indeed Isaiah, and it is. Blanco, the senior, has played in every game this season.
We got some emotion spilling over into the Chandler crowd, concern for how people are reacting to an injured player on the field. Emotions running high. Looks like security is going to be ejecting a couple of fans.
And here on the Chandler side of things, they do mix fans. Hamilton folks can sit on this side, Chandler folks can sit on the other side. It doesn't happen often, but things, it's a rivalry, emotions run high. Of course, these moments get the best of us every now and then, but all we're thinking about right now is Isaiah Blanco, not what's trivial matters right now in the bleachers. I mean, it's an entire squadron practically surrounding Isaiah, giving him care between both schools' athletic trainers, first responders, and now he's up on his own feet. And that is a great sign.
Very, very good.
So he'll be taken off the field, and we'll check in on him later. But great to see Isaiah walk off. He has some assistance with him, but no stretcher needed, no cart needed. And a salute to Chandler Fire and Med and Police Department here to help Isaiah out as he'll go back to the trainer's table. So after all of that, you have to flush it somehow and remind yourself you've got 11 minutes to score twice in this rivalry game.
On his feet and off the field, congratulations to him, and we go back to play.
And that's the thing is, you know, these kids have been in this situation before. They are very, very resilient. You know, it's not hard to convince them to go out there and give it their all, to be concerned about a teammate, but still understand there's another quarter of football to be played.
1st and 10. And a give to Day Hunter. Cuts up the middle, breaks through. Day Hunter switches to the right. He is gone. 54 yards. Chandler right back in it again. His second huge score of the game.
How about Lingy Havea stopping Hamilton on 4th and inches, allowing Chandler to take over, march right down the field, and get a touchdown from Day Hunter, who, I tell you what, I don't know if anybody in the state has as devastating of a jump cut as he does. Once he doesn't even have to run directly to the hole. That's what makes him so hard to tackle. He'll go in behind his lead block and all of a sudden jump into daylight, and he is gone.
Peterman's kick is good. One-score game again. Only took 3 plays. They went 83 yards in 45 seconds. Exactly what they needed. Day Hunter's 3rd touchdown of the game. 29 on the year. 16 carries for 177 yards for the senior. It's his 7th 100-yard plus game of the year. With Ralph Amsden, I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Buckle up. 10:42 to go. Chandler and Hamilton battle for Arizona Avenue. What more can you ask for to close out the regular season? Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. Hamilton has only punted once tonight, and they were just stuffed on 4th down on their last drive.
But prior to that, they were moving the ball on both of their drives so far in this second half. They have looked relatively unstoppable. You just get into that situation where you have to make a choice on what to do on 4th and inches.
Martin had a 40-yard return on the last kickoff. He won't get a chance this time. Peterman through the end zone. It's a touchback.
So Hamilton High will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20.
10:42 to go in the game. Hamilton takes over. They have not trailed in the game. The game has not even been tied since it was 0-0. Now it finally sounds like Austin Field. Sideline's loving it too. Norman in the backfield, Lewis in motion. Throw out to the right side, and it's behind his man, looking for Shuck.
It looked like the defensive line got a hand on that ball. That's the 2nd time today Chandler's been able to bat a pass away.
2nd and 10, and the clock only a couple of ticks off.
From the 20.
Chandler feels like they're in this game again. Low snap, Arve manages, looking deep, has it behind the defense, but he overthrew him. Lewis had his man beat, but he overthrows him by 3 yards.
And I think that's just a little bit of impatience on behalf of Nick Arve. He saw that he had a receiver coming open right away. Had he waited, he might have actually had a couple of more steps and been able to throw a more accurate pass.
3rd and 10. Hamilton has not gone 3 and out at all tonight. 10:36 to go in the game. Hamilton up by a score and an extra point. Arve ready. Shuck in motion. 3rd and 10. The snap away. The throw to the right side. It is incomplete.
Hamilton playing right into Chandler's hands, coming out, throwing the ball 3 downs in a row, taking almost no time off the clock, and they're forced to give the ball back to a Chandler offense that is raring to get back on the field.
And to your point, Ralph, Arve in the second half is only 3 of 7 for 14 yards after he had a huge first half. And Maldonado dangerous, back to return for Chandler.
Yeah, about the worst thing you could do right now if you're Hamilton is to kick the ball directly to Gunnar Maldonado.
He's only been able to return 2 punts, and it's blocked! It's blocked! Ball rolling on the far sideline. Scramble for the ball near the 25-yard line. Chandler not only gets it back, they get their best field position of the night.
Chandler lines up in these punt defense formations. They look a lot like they're running a regular defense. So it's really hard to figure out where they're coming from and what your blocking assignments are.
All of the momentum on Hamilton's sideline has disappeared. And it has fully come over to this side. And Austin Fields faithful, the Chandler Wolves, a chance to tie the game and a ton of time remaining. 10:23, they are starting at the 27 of Hamilton.
And that was really the best defensive series for the Wolves all night. A 3 and out followed by a blocked punt.
Day Hunter in the backfield after he scored on the last drive. Swope in motion. They give to Hunter. Running right. He's got room. Day Hunter. Race to the outside. And he's out of bounds inside the 10. Flag on the play. Back near the line of scrimmage. A holding against the Wolves. Every time the Wolves really seem to capitalize on momentum they're generating, it's been pulled back by a penalty.
And if you can take any positive from it, it's that they're used to it. This is year in and year out, one of the most penalized teams, and they learn to live with those consequences, and they still manage to find some success. Obviously, it's not an optimal situation, but I mean, this is Chandler football. You would rather be disciplined and explosive, but if you're going to be explosive, at least you can make up for being undisciplined.
Their 9th penalty, 70 yards, so it backs them up 1st and 16. They'll give the Day again. Doesn't get as much this time, but still powering through inside the 25. And a good gain on 1st down, almost a gain of 10.
Carries the ball up to about the 23-yard line.
Gain of 11 on the play. No, we'll call it 10. 2nd and 6. 9:40 and ticking.
9-yard pickup on the play. 2nd down, 6 forward.
A give right side. Hunter doesn't have anything this time. A yard or two. Some extracurriculars at the end. Blocks continuing. They didn't hear a whistle. I don't blame them. And popping up is Jeremiah Trojan.
21-yard line.
Hunter is off the field for this play.
Wolves facing 3rd down.
This is 4th down territory, obviously, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's probably the mindset that Chandler plays with at all times. But I think that they really feel the momentum shifted in their direction, and they're hoping they don't even get to that point, but you know they'll run a 4th down play if they do.
3rd and 5, empty backfield. Keen ready, throws low to the near side, and that is deemed a catch. Swoop caught it, somehow falling to the near side, down onto his knees, and it's a 1st down.
What a bold choice by Chandler to go with an empty backfield when they're getting seemingly whatever they want in the running game.
1st and 10 from the 15. The pitch to the left side, Sanders counters it back, near the goal line, he is in, and this game could be tied. Chandler has come back from down 3 scores. An extra point will tie it. 15 yards on the score for Eli Sanders.
God, imagine the defensive burden of not being able to take any break whatsoever every time they spell running back number 1. Eli Sanders is everything that Day Hunter brings to the table and something a little bit different as well.
A huge extra point from Peterman, and it is good. And this game is tied for the first time since we started. Thanks to the great field position after the blocked punt. 5 plays, only 27 yards. A minute 57 off the clock for Chandler.
And this is the time, if you're Hamilton, that you have to remind yourself, you've scored 35 points. You've had